grab a clock right quick, and I'll keep it and I'll call it. So, and on the 10-minute rounds for Dre and Yawasap, once the time will start when you start speaking, and then I will come in on the 2-minute mark, and I would say 2 minutes left. That's all I would do. I'm gonna mute Cap up because so I would say 2 minutes left, and then I would say time when it's time, and then you want to yield right then and there. On the 20-minute, I will do it at the 10-minute mark. I would say 10 minutes left, and then I would do it down at the 2-minute mark. So I would do it at the 2-minute mark, and then I would say time. So if you hear my voice during your round, most likely I'm giving you clarity of the time. So don't be confused or anything. I'm gonna just go back on mute. I'm gonna try to say it loud and clear, and then I'm gonna just go back on mute. So you just keep teaching. But give me a second to get the clock. Everybody should be pinging.
Is this the 2-minute opening or the first round?
Yeah, we can go into I was saying I wanted to give him a second to get his first round together, and then give them the space for the 2-minute opening. Okay. So I guess Cap, if you can kind of do the 2-minute opening, loosely, while I get the clock.
Yeah, no sweat. So, Dre, well, as you've been and you're going in the first round, Yawasap, you can give a 2-minute opening. I got my clock. You just want to present what you're going to do.
I thought Dre did go first.
In the first round, I thought the opening, it's just a 2-minute opening.
Okay, cool.
You know what I mean? That's what.
No, I got
because he's gathering. Yeah, kind of. So I'm gonna get my stopwatch. So I'll start the time when you start speaking.
All right, no sweat. This brother Yawasap from the school of Rum Gadar Gabarium, being high exalted warriors in the Hebrew. I'm going to demonstrate how in Genesis chapter 6 the sons of God are men, and they are not celestial beings, which are angels. I repeat, they are men, which are terrestrial beings, and they are not angels, which are celestial beings. That's all. I don't need too much.
All right, that was only 20 seconds. Dre, it's your turn. You now get 2 minutes to do the same thing, just to give you an introduction. I'll start the time when you go.
For sure, shalom, everybody. This is Brother Dre. Brother Dre, I appreciate everybody for coming out. I appreciate Yawasap for the challenge, but we'll definitely talk about it. So my position is, there's basically two main views. One being that the sons of God in Genesis 6 are angels, which is mine. That's my take. That's my stance. Then we have another view where brothers believe that those are the sons of Seth. So my position is that argument isn't consistent, nor is it thoroughly supported in scripture, nor history. So I plan on demonstrating such. So as the brother said, it really don't take all day to do nothing. So that's pretty much all I want to do. And again, I'm a student at ABT. Shout out to the head teacher at Absolute Bible Truth, Brother Josh, and the ABT family, Antoine, and everybody else. Too many to name a few. So let's talk about it.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop your time. Dre, are you ready? Because you'll be going first in the first round.
I am.
So. You all ready? Okay, so I'm going to start your time again. Y'all can have your own timer. I know Corey's keeping time. I'm going to do time myself. We'll give you warnings throughout the time when you're getting close to the 10 minutes. So the time will start when you start. All right?
Cool. So I'm going to start right here in Genesis chapter 6, obviously, because this is what the discussion is about. I'm going to start in Genesis 6 and verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." So it says man. And real quick, when we look up that man in the Hebrew, if anybody can hear me at any time, let me know so I can make sure I'm being heard.
Yeah, we hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool. It says man, Adam, which in the Hebrew says man, mankind, man, human being, man, mankind, much more frequently intended sense in OT, Adam, first man in the city in Jordan Valley. So first off, we don't see nowhere right here where mankind or this Hebrew word references just the sons of Cain. And real quick, I also want people to notice or think about it. A lot of brothers with this view, because I come from this way of thought, a lot of brothers with this view don't necessarily even believe Adam and Eve were the first people even created. Which leads me to say, well, how do you just put this on the descendants of Cain? What if I said, no, these children of men are somebody else? You see what I'm saying? So it's just real vague that brothers want to make the sons of God the righteous sons of self when they believe that Adam and Eve weren't even the first people. So I could just say, well, this was the daughters of men are somebody else that existed. But see, that's just one of the little things we're going to play on, but we won't get there. In verse 2, it says, the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives, of which all they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days and also after that. My understanding of that is it's telling you there were giants in the earth in those days before the flood, in those days, and also after the flood. When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old men of renown. In verse 5, and God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was was only evil and continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth and grieved him in his heart. So my first issue with this, like I always say, is not consistent, and I'm about to show you why. Because again, brothers can just make sons of God the sons of Seth, but when you deal with the terminology and how certain things were used at certain time periods, we'll see what's what. So let's roll over real quick. I'm going to go to Genesis chapter 11. And then it says, the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. So the whole earth is of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. So we get it. Everybody speak one language. It's talking about everybody. So I'm going to go down for the sake of time. In verse, we're going to get to, I'll go right here. Verse 6. And it says, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So it says the people, in verse 1 it said the whole earth was of one language. But my question here is, what are the sons of Seth here? What are the righteous sons of Seth here? Which is what I'm going to ask YAWASAP. What are the sons of Seth in this chapter? Because again, it says the whole earth was of one language. So when we continue to read, it's going to show. Let me pull it right here. I'm sorry, it kind of froze up. All right, here we go. And it says, okay, verse 7, it said, let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So again, the whole earth was of one language. Everybody spoke one language. Now we know in Genesis chapter 10, we get the breakdown of nations. So when we get over to Genesis chapter 11, and it says the whole earth was of one language, my question to YAWASAP, which will be later, and we'll definitely talk about it, in verse 4 it says, and they said, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach to heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and tower which the children of men builded. This is what I want to focus on real quick. Verse 5, and the Lord came down to see the tower which the children of men builded. Now, anybody who's familiar with the narrative knows that this is when the language was scattered because they were building the tower at Babel. But my point is, it says that he came down to see the tower which the children of men builded. To me, that's synonymous for all mankind. Again, in the Hebrew, let me pull it real quick before I go on, because I like to go ahead and reference everything. In the Hebrew, that word is, here it is. Children of men, again, Adam, mankind. Like I said, we don't see anywhere where Adam is specifically referenced as descendants of Cain, first off. So secondly, so to just make that broad, to just assume that's just based on interpolation. So we're going to go to Psalms. I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 14. And it says, verse 1, the fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works, and there is none that doeth good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand. They are all sad, they are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, not one. So he just said the Lord looked down from heaven to see the children of men. They are all together become filthy. There is none that doeth good, not one. This is all mankind. He just referenced, we got a reference in Genesis chapter 11, and then we got the reference here in Psalms 14. And if we continue, we go to Romans 3. We know Paul quotes this same thing in Romans 3 and 9, and I'm going to bring it all together. In Romans 3 and 9, it says, what then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise, for we have before proved, both Jews and Gentiles, that they are all under sin. The primary focus of my point here is understood that the chosen and everybody else consists of mankind. Even in the New Testament, when Paul references what David just said. So David just told us in Psalms chapter 14 that the Lord came down from heaven to see the children of men. Children of men, that is all mankind. Okay, so when we get back to Genesis 11, and it says, let's go back to it. Again, remember, verse 1, the whole earth was of one language. So it says in verse 5, and the Lord came down to see the city and tower which the children of men built. Remember, all the languages were scattered here. So I'm going to want to know what the sons of God mentioned that right here, because it includes them in the children of men. So if it's the children of men, is everybody here? If the children of men is everybody in Psalms 14? If Romans 3 and 9, Paul is quoting this to let you know that mankind, this is what mankind consists of, the chosen and everybody else. Why would I go to Genesis 6 where it says the daughters of men and make that Cain, the daughters of Cain? Especially if you don't even believe that Adam and Eve were the only people ever created. Again, if you believe Adam and Eve, how do you just make that Cain's descendants? But we're going to continue. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 22. Matthew chapter 22 real quick. And I'm going to start at verse 23. And it says, the same day came to him the Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection. So obviously the Sadducees didn't even believe in a resurrection. So they asked him, they said, Master, Moses said, if a man die having no children, his brother shall marry his wife and raise up seed unto his brother. So obviously they're trying to trip up the Messiah. So as we continue down, I just want to show what Jesus said in verse 29. Jesus answered and said unto him, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels in heaven. I'm sorry, the angels of God in heaven.
2 minutes left.
For sure. Angels of God in heaven. So one question is going to be, what is he quoting? What do we read in the Old Testament, the marriage criteria of an angel? Where can anybody show that? Because he just said, ye err not knowing the scriptures, which means this would have been something that is substantiated somewhere and shown somewhere they should know. In verse 30, he said, for in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels in heaven, which a lot of brothers misinterpret and say, see, this means that angels don't have sex or whatever the case may be. Well, really Christ is just letting you know that in the resurrection that you aren't given in marriage in the same sense, because we're made immortal like the angels are. But I want to go ahead and reference what Christ is, what he's referencing from. Let me go ahead and get that real quick for my time go, because there's a lot of information on the topic. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the book of Enoch. Enoch chapter 15, and it reads. And for the sake of time, I'm gonna try to breeze through this. It says in verse 1, then addressing me, he spoke and said, and this is Enoch chapter 15, verse 1, hear neither be afraid, O righteous Enoch, thou scribe of righteousness. Approach hither and hear my voice. Go say to the watchers of heaven who have sent thee to pray for them. You ought to pray for men, not men pray for you. So he's letting them, you're supposed to pray for the men, and men are not supposed to be coming to make accountability for you, because the angels asked Enoch to come and come and pray for him. So when you see down in the verse 3, it says, you being spiritual, holy, and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourselves with women, and have begotten in carnal blood, and have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. These, however, die and perish. Therefore have I given to them wives, that they may cohabit with them, that the sons...
Let him finish his thought. Just let him finish his thought. I want to be fair. I want to hear everything. Let him finish his thought.
You sure? Okay, so it's...
Yeah. Just
Okay.
finish your thought real quick. Just to be fair. Okay.
For sure. It says, so you being spiritual and holy and possessing a life which is eternal, have polluted yourselves with women, and have begotten in carnal blood, and have lusted in the blood of men, and have done as those who are flesh and blood do. These, however, die and perish. So we understand right here, according to Enoch, that women, that wasn't given for the angels, that was given for the human, that was given for mankind, because they are flesh and blood. So when we read in Jude and 2 Peter, as we're going to get to in my next rebuttal, this is where a lot of these things are being drawn from. But again, I don't want to overrun on my time. So that's all for now.
Appreciate that, Dre.
Yeah, you got it.
Done. All right, so that was Dre's first round on this subject. Genesis 6, sons of God, angels. YAWASAP, now you'll get to have your 10 minutes where you'll have your first round to state your premise and foundation. So the time will start when you start. I'm going to reset my clock. So whenever you're ready, YAWASAP, I'll start.
No problem, no problem. Okay, I'm just gonna say three things he made a mistake with. Number one was context. Number two, I don't know where in the world you're saying anything about the sons of Cain. Never came out of my mouth. Never spewed that out. That's ridiculous. Number three was the book of Enoch. What in the world is going on? All right, cool. First thing I'm going to demonstrate, because I'm just going to take it nice and slow, is first I'm going to prove that the angels do not rebel against God. The angels actually listen to everything that God says. Let's go number one. Let's go to First Kings chapter 22 and verse 19. And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth and will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. What would we call a lying spirit in today's modern day vernacular or colloquially? A demon. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. Let's keep demonstrating this. Let's go to Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. I'm going to repeat that. By sending evil angels among them. What does this go hand in hand with? The book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 7. He creates the evil and darkness. He creates the calamity. What does this also go in line with? Let me read it verbatim. Let's go to the book of Sirach real fast. I didn't even write this down, but it popped up in my head. This is Sirach chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Let's see what these spirits do. Fire and hail, and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. This is the key. They shall rejoice in his commandment. Why? Because they don't disobey God. And they shall be ready upon earth when need is. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Let's just go to another witness. Let's see right here. This is First Samuel chapter 16 and verse 15. And Saul's servants said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. Hold on, let me read that again. I don't think it clicked. And Saul's servants said unto him, Behold now, an evil spirit from God troubleth thee. You see, these evil spirits are all controlled by the Most High God. These evil spirits are angels, or what you will call also demons. So they cannot rebel against God. They can't do that. They listen to everything he says and obeys his commandments. Let's continue to demonstrate this, right? Okay, let's go to Psalms 104 and verse 4. Who maketh his angel spirits. You see, those were those angel spirits in Samuel. Those were those evil spirits in First Kings. I'm going to repeat. Psalms 104 and 4. Who maketh his angels spirits. His ministers a flame of fire. Ministers meaning servant. Let's just go to the Hebrew, right? Let's have a little fun. Let's just go to the Hebrew Psalms 104 and 4. Ministers. What does it say? To serve, to minister, minister to. This is exactly what it's talking about. They cannot disobey the Most High God. Let's go to Psalms 103 and verse 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening on to the voice of his word. They cannot disobey what the Most High God tells them to do, because they were not created to do that. Now, he made a very bad mistake, right? Matthew 22 and 30. I want to address this. Very bad mistake. Okay? Let's read it. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. This is the bad mistake. If they can neither marry nor are given into marriage, right? I'm just walking with his concept, his mind. That means angels can't have sex. Why? I don't know why you would go here. This is not helping you. It's only going to hurt you. I'm going to repeat that. For in the resurrection, I don't know why Dre went here, they neither marry nor are given in marriage. Obviously, marriage, whether you think it's the consummation of marriage or whether you think sex is marriage or not, if you're married to a woman, you're going to lay down with her and have sex with her. It's a part of marriage. It's the consummation of marriage, period. There's no argument to that. So, if in the resurrection they're not marrying or are given into marriage, but you're going to be like the angels of God, what does that mean? That means angels don't have sex. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't know where he's getting this from. I don't know where he's getting this from at all, right? Let's go to the difference, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 39. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. Here's the key. There are also celestial bodies. What is a celestial body? Something that is outside of, of what you call the earth, which will be the angels, the Alahayim, the Elohim. Let me repeat that. There are also celestial bodies, which is what? Angels. And bodies terrestrial, bodies of the earth. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is one. Let's jump back up to 39. All flesh is not the same flesh. So if the celestial flesh is different from what you will call the terrestrial flesh, which is angels and anything that's upon the earth, they cannot mix together. That's scientifically, that's logically, and biblically impossible. None of that can happen. I don't know. I don't know why you. I don't understand. I don't know why you would do that. It's only hurting you if you went to Matthew.
2
Why would you
minutes
do that?
left.
Okay, now let's just jump it off. Right. Let's go back to Genesis, where the whole crux of this entire argument comes from. Right. Let's go right back. Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply upon the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. What are you going to go to Job to say, well, the sons of God were right here? Well, let's go to a key verse. This is Luke chapter 3 and verse 38, which were the sons of Enos, which were the sons of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God. What does this prove? That these sons of God were from the lineage of Adam. Okay? That's who these sons of God were. All of the daughters of men were from where? From the other people that were on the earth. And I know you're going to ask me these questions, and it's going to be no sweat, and it's going to be a piece of cake. All right? Let's also show that the sons of God are also what you will call Israelites. Okay? Let's go to Romans real quick. Salakia. Romans chapter 8. My bad. Old Bible. Pages sticking together. Let's go to Romans chapter 8 and verse 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. Am I an angel now because I'm getting called the son of God? Because I'm being led by the Spirit of God? This makes no sense. And I don't know why you went to Genesis 11. Because once again, like I said, when there was one thing you had wrong in the beginning, It's context, Ak. You can't put two. You can't. Can I just Dre? Is it okay if I just land my plane? This is my last sentence.
Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate you, Ak. It's all about context. Genesis 11 contextually is not lining up to what's going on in Genesis 6. Nice try. Try again.
All right. So now this is going to be the second round, and I believe what Corey said was, this is your second round to continue your build, Sloppy. This is your second round to continue your build, to rebuttal, to respond. But this is your second round. I believe Dre goes first. So you'll again have 10 minutes to continue your dialogue. So whenever you ready to begin, Dre, you let me know.
All right, I'm ready.
Dre, I got the 10 minutes set, so whenever you start talking.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah, okay, so real quick, the brother said a couple of things wrong. Again, he said the flesh is different. Now, I don't disagree that the flesh is different, but that's why it's believed that they came down in the shape of man, as they did in Genesis 19. Just like the angels came down in the shape of man, and they laid, and they slept, and they ate when in Sodom and Gomorrah. But we're going to talk about it, because he made another erroneous mistake. He said angels don't sin. Jude chapter 1 and 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment day, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them. It's telling you, even as, just like in Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them, in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh. It's just telling you, some angels who left their first estate did just like Sodom and Gomorrah, giving themselves over to fornication and strange flesh. These are things that the angels had in common with the men in Sodom and Gomorrah. So I don't know what he's talking about, but he said angels don't sin. So let's deal with that real quick. Let's go to Zechariah. Matter of fact, before I do that, this is Josephus. I'm gonna get a historical source because he ain't gotta agree with Enoch. It's a historical source that probably predate anything he got in his archive, and we're gonna talk about that because he claims to be an historian. So I need to see the historical sources that substantiate his view. Josephus. The Antiquity of the Jews 1.3.1. Now this posterity of Seth continued to esteem God as the Lord of the universe and to have an entire regard to virtue for 7 generations, but in the process of time they were perverted. There go your son. So much for your righteous sons of Seth. Also, y'all, when they say this righteous sons of Seth, do y'all ever think about the fact that only one person was considered righteous, which was Noah? I mean, they don't think Ham was righteous. I ain't seen them say Japheth was righteous. So we will have Noah at best. We don't know who Noah's wives were, or none of the women. So at best, we got Noah considered a righteous individual, but however, the sons of God supposed to be the righteous sons of Seth when one person was saved in a flood. All right? Yeah, just think about that because he'll play on that. Again, it says, but in the process of time, they were perverted and forsook the practices of their fathers. They left the practices of their fathers and did neither pay those honors to God which were appointed to them, nor had they any concern to do justice towards them. But for what degree of zeal they had formerly shown for virtue, they now show by their actions a double degree of wickedness, whereby they made God to be their enemy. For many angels of God accompanied with women and begat sons that proved unjust and despisers of all that was good on account of the confidence that they had in their own strength. For the tradition is that these men did what resembled the acts of those whom the Grecians called giants. But Noah was very uneasy at what they did, and being displeased at their conduct, persuaded them to change their dispositions and their acts for the better. But seeing that they did not, he yielded to them, but were slaves to their wicked pleasures. It says he was afraid that they would kill him together with his wife, children, and those they married. So he departed out of the land. Last part. This notion that the fallen angels were in some sense the fathers of old giants was the constant opinion of antiquity. So I'm not really concerned with YAWASAP's opinion of Enoch. Enoch predate YAWASAP's understanding. Enoch, in the language and the information that was drawn from, predate YAWASAP and whatever he got. So I like to see his historical reference that substantiate him and what time frame we're going to deal with in there. So we got Enoch, we got Josephus, we're going to deal with Philo, and we're going to go to the Dead Sea Scrolls and deal with the Book of the Giants because we got multiple sources, Hebrew sources, Again, remember that, y'all. Hebrew sources that substantiate this claim in this thought. Also, the brother said again, angels don't sin. So real quick, we're going to go to Ezekiel. I'm going to go to Ezekiel chapter 28 real quick. And we know when you read in verse 27, it says in verse 1, the word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, now thou son of man, take up a lamentation for Tyre. So we see in chapter 27, it's talking about the prince of Tyre. No disagreements. But when we go into 28, we get something different going on in Ezekiel 28. And also, well, I'll get to that in a second, because he tap danced around that Genesis 11 because it was a smack. Ain't nobody say it was the same context. The point is, it said all people under heaven, and everybody was consistent under the children of men. So he can't go and show the discrepancy. It don't say the sons of God and the children of men built a Tower of Babel. It says the children of men. So he can tap dance and backflip all he want, but y'all hold him to that fire. Don't let him slip away. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 12. Check it out. Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyre. Now, when we start at verse 1, it's talking about something different. Then when we get down to verse 12, it says, again, son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyre and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, thou sealest up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. 13. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. The sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl and onyx, the jasper and sapphire, the emerald and the carbuncle and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets, of thy pipes, was prepared thee in the day that thou was created. You see how this being is being described. This is not a regular person, and this is definitely not the king of Tyre. And if it is, he creates another problem for himself with his inconsistent doctrine. And we're finna see. Verse 14, thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. Brothers and sisters, what is an anointed cherub? What is an anointed cherub? Because remember, it just said, thou hast been in the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius. Let's continue. Thou art an anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Verse 15. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created, till iniquity was found in thee. Now again, we know I don't disagree that there are righteous angels, but my point is there are also a remnant of wicked angels, and that's what's being displayed here. It just said the anointed cherub that was in the garden of God. So now he's going to try to make us believe a cherub is a man now. Because he just said they don't sin. Well, what does it mean when it says till iniquity was found in you? Once again, you smack yourself. You put yourself in a trick bag. Because he said angels don't sin. What is a cherub and what is iniquity? And I'll wait for him to explain that when we get back, because it ain't going nowhere. And I also went to Matthew 22. He danced around that. Remember, you got to listen to these guys. Christ said in Matthew 22, I'm going to go back to it. He said, you are not knowing the scriptures, for the angels are not given in marriage. He ain't show no scripture that substantiates the marriage protocol of an angel. That was my premise for going there. He talking about, oh, no, you went there. Well, you didn't listen hard enough. My premise for going there was Christ just told them, you are not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God, and how angels are not given in marriage. You take me to the book, chapter, and verse, which breaks down the marriage protocol of the angels in the Old Testament, good sir, when you get a chance to. Okay? Because I don't know why you even tried to come back here as if you ain't see it, but I get it. You had to. Damage control. It's all good. We're going to keep it moving. Because I'm going to show y'all he don't know what he's talking about. Zechariah, chapter 3. Watch this. Okay, verse 1. And he shewed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him.
2 minutes left.
Yes, sir. And Satan standing at his right hand to resist him. Verse 2. And the Lord said unto Satan, Lord rebuke thee, O Satan. Even the Lord hath chosen Jerusalem. Rebuke thee. Is this not the brand plucked out of fire? So maybe when he get back home, he can explain why Satan is being rebuked if he's just doing what he's supposed to do. What does rebuke mean? Because I know these brothers don't like to deal with definitions. They pick and choose when they want to reference the Hebrew. So when they're saying he's being rebuked, that means he's being corrected. Why is he being corrected if he's just doing what he's supposed to do, YAWASAP? If angels stay in line and only do what they're supposed to do, why is Satan being rebuked here? And explain to me who Satan is. Explain to me who the cherub is in Ezekiel 28, which was in the garden, and the iniquity that was found in him. Because you said angels don't sin. What is iniquity? I don't want to have to pull it up in the Hebrew to substantiate that, but we're going to continue. He went to Luke chapter 3 and 23, of the Son of God. All that says there again is that Adam was the Son of God. And it says that because Adam was the only one literally made from the hands of God. That's what it says. So we got Josephus, we got Enoch, we got Philo, we got the Book of the Giants and the Dead Sea Scrolls, which these brothers conveniently go to when it's convenient, but when it disagrees with them, they don't reference it. But we're going to talk about a couple of more references that the brother brought out. Because I want to go back to Genesis chapter 14. Genesis chapter 14, in verse 5. And in the 14th year came Charter the kings of that were with him, and smote the Rephaims, and Ashtaroth, Carnum, and the Zuzims and Ham, and the Emims and Shavah. Now we just got all the breakdowns of the nations in Genesis chapter 10. Tell Yawasap to show me who the Zuzims descend from. Tell him show me who the Emims descend from, because he said it's easy money. Okay, King, when you get your chance, when we had this cross-examination, show me who the Emims come from and who the Zuzims descend from. And y'all remember this prefix on it, because remember the cherubims is called the cherubim. So now we got the Zuzims, the Emims, the Raphaims.
All right.
Finish your thought out. Finish your thought. Just don't take long like before, but finish your thought out.
For sure, I stare at. So all I'm saying is, even in Genesis chapter 14, we get these five. We got these nations of giants, and we read about them again in Deuteronomy 2 and 10. So my point is, if you're telling me that these are descendants of Seth before the flood, show me which son of Seth they descend back from, and after the flood, show me which son of Ham, Shem, or Japheth they descend back from. Because you said it was easy money. I'm done.
All right. So that was Dre's 10 minutes. Almost 11, but it was Dre's 10 minutes. Yawasap, your time is going to start. I'll reset my shit here.
All right.
Your time is going to stop when you start talking. You have another 10 minutes. Again, your second round is, you can do a rebuttal, finish, however you choose to do it. It's your 10 minutes.
All right, I appreciate that, Cap. Okay, he wants to know my oldest reference going before Josephus. It's the Bible. What are you talking about, bro? It's ridiculous. This is exactly what you're doing. This is Titus chapter 1 and verse 14. Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure, all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. This is Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 13. It says, "Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men." So go ahead and continue to get your doctrines by the precept of men and Jewish fables like the book of Enoch. This is crazy. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 6. Okay? Let's go back. Genesis chapter 6. All right. Okay. I'll start from verse 1 again. "And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that were fair, and they took on them wives of all which they chose." Once again, the sons of God, Luke 3 and 38. Okay? Very easy to understand. "And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. They were giants." Whoa, my God. "They were giants in the earth in those days. And after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, they and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were men of old, which were of old, men of renown." Okay. The problem is you're looking at giants and thinking these people by the book of Enoch, by your own standards, are like 450 feet tall. Because that's what the book of Enoch said. This is the problem, right? Side note. You want to go to the book of Enoch and talk about giants being 450 feet tall, but why don't you talk about the woman that these angels had sex with turning into sirens, which are mermaids? You don't want to talk about that, though, right? But anyway, okay, this is H5303 for the word giants, which is Nephilim, right? A feller that is a bully or a tyrant. Just as what will we call the white man to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today? The children of Israel? They will be Nephilim. They are giants over us because they are ruling this earth. This book speaks in parables and analogies and poetically. It's that simple to understand. Now, there's somewhere in these scriptures that this is used again, okay? Which is Numbers chapter 13 and verse 31, okay? Let's read it and see what it says. Salakia. But the men went up, this is Numbers 13 and 31. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. And there we saw giants, the sons of Enoch, which come of giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. So this word is only used right here in Genesis 6 and then right here in Numbers 13. But this is not talking about people who are 400 and freaking 50 feet tall, like the book of Enoch says. This is ridiculous. Where's my man Jeremiah? This is ridiculous and absurd, man. Ridiculous and absurd. Let's go to verse 5. Verse 5 is actually going to cut all this. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. Why didn't he say anything about angels here? Why wasn't the wickedness of angels great on the earth? If angels fell from the sky and began to have sex with things that they can't have sex with, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, this makes no sense. I'll read that again. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. This is why the earth was flooded, not because angels fell from the sky. Now let's just have a little fun, right? Let's just go to the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, just for the heck of it, right? This is on page 581. This is for Nephilim. It says, a term rendered giants in the KJV, describing certain of the antediluvians and aboriginal dwellers in Canaan, where they are identified with the sons of Enoch. Though no direct trace of people of such abnormal stature has been discovered, there is ample evidence as to the underlying tradition. One should reject the view that they were angelic fallen beings. So I'm not making this up. This is something that was discussed all throughout the scholarly world. Okay? It's very simple to understand. Extremely simple to understand. Now, you're going to have to explain things like this. This is the book of Enoch, chapter 7 and verse 2. And they, which was human women in the context, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. What? 3,000 ells is 450 feet. So you're telling me a woman gave birth to a child that was 450 feet. This is nonsense. Let's look at something else. This is Enoch, chapter 67 and verse 2. And now the angels are making a wooden building ark. And when they had completed that task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. And there shall come forth from it the seed of life. And chains shall set in so that the earth will remain without inhabitant. So in the book of Genesis, chapter 6, the very chapter that we're talking about, from 6 to 15 and 22, and also the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 7, never mentions angels, angelic beings, building the ark. But why does the book of Enoch do? Contradiction. Let's just go to another one. This is Enoch, chapter 19, and verse 2. And the woman also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. This comes from Greek mythology. Okay? Each of a number of women are winged women who lured sailors away with their singing to shipwreck on island coasts. That is the definition of sirens according to the Greek mythos. This is in the book of Enoch that this guy wants you to believe. So you're telling me that angels had sex with females and the females were punished and turned into sirens, which is also synonymous with mermaids?
2 minutes left.
What the hell is going on here, man? I don't know. Why are you doing this to yourself? I don't know why you're doing this to yourself, man. Seriously. Then you're asking, well, where's the outline of marriage for angels? Angels don't get married. That's the point. Why are you asking for something to get solidified if they don't get married? What kind of nonsense is this? What the hell is going on here, man? This is crazy, bro. I thought you would have came with something more than this, right? Even with the book of Jude 1 and 6, right? And the angels were kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation. He hath reserved an everlasting change unto Salakia. He hath reserved an everlasting change unto darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Let's see something very clear, something that is beautifully outlined in the book of Lamentations. Very simple to understand. Okay? All right. This is Lamentations 2:1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven onto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. So who was cast down and kept not their first estate? The children of Israel. This, once again, the Bible is written in analogies. The Bible is written in allegories. The Bible is written poetically. It even has anthropomorphism in it. So I don't know why you're going to these places like if it's helping you. It's not. Sincerely, it's not, man.
Time.
All right, I believe this is the 20-minute rebuttal round, right? Corey, excuse me, 20-minute hot seat round, correct?
Yes, the 20-minute hot seat, 20-minute Q&A where Dre is the one with the questions first. He's the questionnaire, sending the questions to YAWASAP. So YAWASAP, you'll be sitting on the hot seat. 20 minutes, you have a maximum of 2 minutes to answer. If I'm coming in saying, 2 minutes up, that's in reference to your answer to the question. That's not in reference to the entire 20-minute dialogue. So I just want to let you guys know, so I won't confuse you on that. If you are going over the edge in terms of your answer, then I'll make sure that I let you know 2 minutes is up. So I got 2 clocks with me to keep both times the 20-minute section as well as 2 minutes for each question or that Dre sends out. I'll say the 2 rules and then I'm gonna bounce it back to Cap. Make sure if you ask a yes or no question, Yawasab, you must answer yes or no. Then you will have the space to expound if you would like to, but you must answer yes or no, as well as the other one. I forgot the other one. What's the other one? Yawasab. You don't did this before.
I don't know why you.
Oh, yeah. You got it. So yeah, just blank down in my mind. So all questions must be answered with answers. You cannot answer a question with a question. So make sure you guys are very careful when it comes to that because we don't want to interject at all. You guys have had a good build so far, but of course we do expect this area to get kind of intense. So make sure both of your spirits prep for that. Cap, I'll bounce it back to you.
All right, no sweat. So again, Dre, you'll be the one asking questions. Yes to no criticism before you answer. So yes or no first, and then you expound. You do not have to take the whole 2 minutes to answer the question. And then, of course, you can't answer Dre's question with the question and vice versa. So y'all can begin now, and then we'll rock from there.
No,
All right, so for sure. So y'all was in Genesis 14 and in verse 5. You can hum with me, good brother. It says, and in the 14th year came Shadowlomer, and the kings that were with him, and smote the Raphaims, and Ashtaroth, and the Zuzims, and Ham, and the Emims, and Zava of Karathim. So you said it's easy money. Can you show me who these nations of giants descend back to? Because we in Genesis 10, we got the table of nations. So can you show me who these nations of giants descend to if you're claiming they descend from man? Yes or no?
Yeah, no sweat. It doesn't exactly say for where these nations reside from, but that word "ham" there is simply being when you go into the Strongs, the word "ham" there is H1990, which simply says a region in Palestine. Right. If you go into the context, let's read the context through. Right. It said, and it came to pass in the days of Amramphel, king of Shinar, Ariat, king of Elasar, Chador Lomer, I'm probably butchering that, king of Elam, entitled king of nations, that these made war in Barak, king of Saddam. Yeah, I don't see exactly where these people come from, but just because it says giants here, right? Because just what you're attempting to do, right? When it says Rephaims, right? You're attempting to go in here, and because in the Strong's it says the sense of invigorating. Why didn't you read that? Invigorating a giant. That's how I see it. It's not that these people were 450 feet tall, like the book of Enoch says. It's very simple to understand. I don't know why you're going here. It's not helping your argument. I just reside on my 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't hear your answer. So again, can you show who they descend from, the Emims, the Zuzims, or the Karanims in this chapter? Yes or no?
Yeah, no problem. I literally just said no. I can't
Okay,
show
my bad.
exactly.
I thought you
I
said yeah.
can't.
My
Yeah.
bad.
No, no, no. It's cool. Yeah, I got 2 minutes now. It's cool.
What?
I literally, yeah, I literally said no. So
Okay.
I don't know why you would waste your time and ask me the same question again. I literally said no, but that does not mean that these people are not humans. The context of this conversation is Genesis 6. Are these people descendants of angelic beings, celestial beings, and terrestrial beings? Celestial beings and terrestrial beings, as I already showed in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 39 to 40, they cannot mix because not all flesh is the same flesh. So you going here has nothing to do with the crux of your argument at all. There's no reason why you should have went here. Just because right here it says Raphaims, and then you're sitting here and coming to a conclusion because in the outline of biblical context it says giants, old tribe of giants, which I showed that giants doesn't always mean what? That you're 450 feet tall, like the book of Enoch said as soon as you come out of a mother's womb, because it also says
Well, yes.
invigorating. I'm done.
Okay, cool. So no, y'all, brothers and sisters, moral of the story, no, he keep trying to deflate and go somewhere else. I went there because according to Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 9 and 10, it says, and the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give thee for a land, for a possession, because I have given are unto the children of Lot for possession. In verse 10, the Emims dwelt there in times past, a people great and many and tall as the Enochims, which also were accounted as giants as the Enochims, but the Moabites called them Emims. So even the narrator of the book of Deuteronomy is telling you that in times past, these people, they lived in this land and they called them the Emims, and they believed that they ascended or they were of the same stature of the Enochims. That's why I went there. But just remember, we just got all the table of nations in Genesis chapter 10. So we 3 chapters away. It should be easy. He said it was easy money earlier, so he can't do it. Next question. YAWASAP. What history? Because anyone who knows YAWASAP knows he claims to be a man of history. So let's be convenient and let's be consistent. YAWASAP, what historical references substantiate your view that these sons of self are men? Historically.
The Bible.
You done? I don't want to cut you off. Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Cool. And once again, anybody that know YAWASAP know that that's a body bag because he always claims to be a man of history and he always references historical sources. I brought out Enoch. I brought out Philo. I got the Book of the Giants. I got the Bible too. I believe the Bible is consistent with my understanding. And I got another 5 to 10 sources. Another question for you, brother YAWASAP. Let me see. Here it is. My bad. Kind of froze up on me. Okay, here we go. So YAWASAP, what are the oldest Greek manuscripts on the planet?
For what book?
When we're dealing with the Book of Genesis, as far as like the Codex
Hey,
Vaticanus,
real quick,
Slack,
real quick.
I'm
I
sorry,
was about to
y'all
say
stop.
pause his time
what?
because I need
Zach, you can.
clarification. So pause his time while I'm asking him because
Okay.
it's not
Like,
fair that I ask him this question. That's cool, Dre?
yeah, because y'all stop. You actually asked him a question, and you can't ask no question. You can't answer his question with a question. So
Yeah, I
Dre,
agree. That's
so
why I'm
we're
asking him. Hey,
con.
Dre, is it cool? Is it cool if
Well, you
I
kind of
just
asked
need
him in the question.
clarification?
Now you gotta let him do it how he wants to do it. Because now
Yes,
you're
sir.
asking him another question now. So
Yeah.
we're gonna give you about 35 seconds back, Dre. So Corey,
Okay.
if you can give Dre 35 seconds back to his time, Dre, you can re-ask that question and continue.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. So what
Hold
I'm
on,
saying
hold
is,
it, hold it, hold it, hold it, Dre. How
okay.
much time?
35 seconds.
All right, come.
Okay.
Hold it, Dre. Hold on, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right, Dre is good whenever you start back speaking.
All right. I'll try to be a bit more clear in this time. When I say what are the oldest Greek manuscripts, I'm referring to the manuscripts that we have available as far as the Codex Vaticanus and the Codex Alexandrinus. Do you believe that we have any manuscripts that are older than those available today?
In terms of Greek manuscripts, now all of the high scholars will say the Codex Alexandrinus, the Codex Vaticanicus, but you're also going to have to look at these because different scholars give different opinions. For instance, let me get it. Give me a second. There it goes. You got something like the Bodmer Papyri. You got something like the Chester Beater Papyri. Also have, where is it? You have something known as the, I'm probably going to butcher this name, so forgive me. Oxyrhynchus papyri, which was found in 1897. I could also give you the dates of when the other ones were found. For instance, the Chester Beater papyri was found in 1875, but they also found more going all the way up to 1968 and just claimed it to be the Chester Beater papyri because they were all found around in the same area. The Bodmer papyri was also found and damn, I don't have that exactly when that was written. So yeah, it all depends. It all depends with conjecture because it depends on what scholar you're talking about, and it'll go for this reason right here. Let me know when I have my 2 minutes up. Let me see if I can find it. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Forgive me, I'm going through a book right now. Okay, right here. This would be the reason why. Because in the Age of Mobilian a Montifico by James W. Thompson, this is what is very important to understand about manuscripts. It says the impetus for articulation of a method of proving the authenticity of documents came from the doctrinal conflicts of the Reformation and Counter-Reformation. Rome was compelled to fight history with history. Since the Reformation was appealed to history, the Counter Reformation was forced to use
Okay.
the same instrument. So, what you have to understand is the actual thing of paleography was actually created by Rome because Rome was actually fighting against the reformers. Okay, so
I'm
a
on
lot of
it.
these.
Okay, cool. So now I asked because based on the older manuscripts that we have dealing with the Vaticanus and the Alexandrinus, Yawasap, what word is translated for sons of God in the older manuscript that we have access to?
I wouldn't know, but I will also hold both of those manuscripts as actually being extremely what you would call contradictory to things like Textus Receptus, to also things like the Aleppo text, and this is the reason why. Okay, I'm going to read from a book called The Doctrines of Grace by George Sales Bishop on page 71. Now, this is going to say B, but everybody knows the Codex Vaticanus, which will also go hand in hand with what is also known as the Codex Alexandrinus, right, are actually extremely flawed, and most scholars not most, I will say 50-50, to be honest, go back and forth to what manuscripts actually hold authority, right? Now, this is actually talking about something you're referencing, which is the Vaticanus, which will be the Codex B, okay? It says B is said to be older. Well, it may be older because less trustworthy, less used, and not so worn out. Or it may not be older. It is first mentioned in 1475, not 50 years before the Reformation, which is important to know. That is pretty young document to claim to be over 1,100 documents, which for all we know be thousands years old. So you see right here that you're using a manuscript that does not fit the majority text, which all came from Antioch, which actually goes line in line with 1,100 documents. That's going to be an issue there, brother. Okay? So it says, oh, but it is written in great capitals. And it has divisions into paragraphs such as documents in Eusebius' time. Yes, but what is there to prevent a man from imitating a manuscript of Eusebius and time dating it large and for a purpose? So this goes hand in hand with the other source that I just used in the Age of Mobilian and Pontifical. That what the Vatican Church was doing was actually falsifying manuscripts and falsifying history and creating
10 minutes
forgeries so
left
they can.
in the questionnaire. 5 seconds left for your answer.
So all they were doing is to make a long story short, Rome was falsifying and creating forgeries. Is that
Okay, cool. Now I disagree. Now we'll pull out the source text on that because when you read the older Greek manuscripts, which are the Vaticanus and the Alexandrinus, what they read is it says when the Hebrews translated the word "sons of God," some manuscripts or different sources or versions of Genesis 6 and 4 vary in their use of the sons of God. Some manuscripts of the Septuagint have emendations, which means it's just a correction or a revision to the text to read sons of God as angels. The Codex Vaticanus contained angels originally. So the Codex Alexandrinus, the sons of God have been omitted and replaced by angels. So this means that the translators, the Hebrews who translated these manuscripts in the Greek, they replaced them with angels. But my next question for you is regarding the Enochims. Can you trace back who the Enochims descend from? Yes or no?
yes, I would say they're from the children of Ham. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, can you book chapter and verse that said the Enochims present book chapter and verse? Whichever verse and why he get. I mean, I don't want to waste my time. Why he's getting that, I'll continue because he said the Enochims can
No,
be
you
traced.
can't. You can't.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got two
Okay.
minutes.
My
Even
bad.
if
You
I.
on mute. My bad. My bad.
Nah, that's good. I'm actually looking for it. Give me a second.
Right. So while he's looking, what do we do, Corey?
You got to be
Start.
quiet.
No, his time has started.
Okay.
So
Cool. Cool.
yeah, Dre.
Let me see. All right, cool. This is
Mm-hmm.
from this is H6061. It says Enoch,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or Enoch, exactly what he's talking about. It literally says a Canaanite, a progenitor of a family or tribe of the giant people in Canaan, a Canaanite. It's literally what the Strong says.
So okay. So the strongest. So you don't have a scripture. The strongest is what you're referencing.
Yes.
Okay, let me get there. It says Anakims. When I look, it says, yeah, long neck, a tribe of giants, descendants of Anakim, which dwelled in southern Canaan. How does this mean that they descend from the son of Ham?
No problem. In the Strongs that I'm reading in H6061,
Mm.
it literally says in the BDB lexicon, Anak, which means neck. Pause. One, it says progenitor of a family or tribe of the giant people in Canaan. Then we go to the Strong's definition. Anak, a Canaanite. Okay? Let's go to Joshua 15 and 13 real quick. Let me see something real fast. Let
15
me know,
seconds.
no problem. It says, and unto Caleb, the son of Jabor, he gave a part of the children of Judah, according to the commandment of Joshua, even the city of Arab, the father of Enoch, which is in Hebron. So you also see that name there.
Okay. And this is what I mean, y'all. Brothers, this is when y'all got to listen to brothers' methods. Because this is coming from a Hebrew Israelite. I can read where it says Simon was a Canaanite, but they know just because you dwelt in a certain land or you were an inhabitant of a certain land, sometimes you could be caught by that. Obviously, if the angels came down and took wives, this took place somewhere. But let's go to Joshua chapter 11 and 21. And at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountains, from Hebron and from Debir and from Anab and from all the mountains of Judah and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. There was none of the Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, Gath, and in Ashdod there remained. So Joshua took the whole land according to all the Lord said unto Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance unto Israel according to their divisions by their tribes. And this is my point. He knows that he cannot go and show what son of Ham they descend from. So now he becomes reliant on the strong saying that they were an inhabitant of a particular region, when anybody with any common sense knows they would have to inhabit or live in a particular land or region. But again, we didn't get book, chapter, and verse on which son of Ham they descend from because it ain't in there and he can't show it. So my next question is in 2 Peter chapter 2, because he said that they sin. 2 Peter chapter 2.
2 verse 9.
No, verse 4.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, so it says, for if God spared not the angels that sin. Earlier you said angels don't sin. Where is Peter pulling this from? What reference in the scripture is Peter pulling this from? Where it says, God cast not the angels that sin, but cast them down into hell. And remember, I'm not finished my question, because remember, brothers and sisters, he just went to the Strongs, so let's keep it in the Strongs. Down to hell says Tartaro. In the Greek, the name of the subterranean region, doleful and dark, regarded by the ancient Greeks as the abode of the wicked dead, where they suffer punishment for their evil deeds. Even it answers to Gehenna of the Jews. It says to thrust down to Tartarus, to hold captive in Tartarus. And then when you look at it in the Strong's definition, it says incarcerate in the eternal torment, to cast down in hell. So what reference is Peter pulling this from, and how does that apply to this Greek word Tartarus?
Yeah, no problem. Let's go to that Greek word for Tartarus first. You said something that for some reason you just went by. Let's just go there real quick. No problem. Okay. Oh, Salaki, I clicked the wrong word. So Tartarus, whatever. It says, regarded by the ancient Greeks as the abode of where the wicked they suffer for punishment of their evil deeds. I don't see where it's regard as the ancient Israelites. Once again, stop with these Jewish fables, Ak. Okay, now let's give the understanding. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. For if God spared not the angels that sin, but cast them down to hell. This aligns up exactly what I said in Lamentations 2 and 1. We know that hell is a condition on earth. Also going to Jonah chapter 2. So it's simply talking about the other nations ruling over the children of Israel. Okay? And every time you see angels, let's go into this word. That's the problem. Angels. Okay? A messenger, envoy, one who was sent, an angel, a messenger of God. Let's go to the Strong's definition. By implication, a pastor, a leader, somebody who is a messenger of God. This is very simple to understand. This is G32, by the way. This is not talking about literal angels. Well, this is exactly what I don't know why you're doing this. Let's read Lamentations 2 and 1. All right, before my 2 minutes end again. I don't know why the hell. It's crazy. Lamentations 2 and 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven onto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger.
In the round.
Okay, cool. So again, first off, when you look at any type of comparison or relation, don't know no scholars compares this or references this to Limitations. This is YAWASAP just doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put my falling in the shower picture up in a minute because the feet just slipping from up under them. Whoop whoop whoop. Now my next verse, my next question, YAWASAP, for my time go. In Ezekiel chapter 28, let me get it real quick. Because we got enough to go all night. Ezekiel chapter, let me get this. Ezekiel chapter 28. And I'm going to go down to the verse that I read earlier. When it says in verse 12, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyre and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Thou tillest up the seal. In verse 13, Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering. And it says, I'm going to go to verse 14. It says, Thou art the anointed cherub that cover. What is a cherub, YAWASAP? Are you there?
My bad. I thought I was off mute. Cherub by
Yeah.
definition, no problem. Let me get it. Is if that's your last question that you're asking, no problem. I use up my 2 minutes of your time to run
Yes,
out.
it's 33 seconds left in the round, so I
No
guess you will be
problem.
afforded 2 minutes to answer,
No
and then
problem.
it'll be over.
What is a cherub according to definition? No problem. This is H3742 Karaab. Okay. It says angelic being as guardians of Eden, as flanking God's throne, as the image of a hovering, as chariot of Yahweh, imaginary figure, cherub, cherubims. Now he went here to try to prove something magical, but all this is poetry. It's an analogy. It's just a parable talking about the king of Tyrus. Okay, let me get the exact name. It's the king of Tyrus, King Ithabaal the third. I don't know. I don't know why. 33 seconds should be up. This is crazy.
So the king of Tyre was made perfect?
It's not your turn anymore.
Oh, my bad. I thought you muted your mic.
No, Dre,
Yeah.
that was the time, the official time. So it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
33
Whether he muted
seconds
his
left.
mic or not, if your time was up, your time was up. You got it, Corey Salaki. That's the time, right?
Yeah, that's the time. It's 20 minutes
Come.
on the questionnaire flips over on round three. To Yawasop Dre, you'll be in the hot seat right now. My time is set for the 20 minutes right now. Dre, did you have a question?
Oh no, my bad. I thought he was about to ask me something.
Oh no. I was just letting you know you're on you pretty much on a hot seat now. Of course, Yawasop, if there's any yes or no questions sent towards Dre, you must answer the question yes or no cleanly before you expound if you elect to expound. Yes or no questions must be answered that way. And then the other one would be that all questions must be answered with answers, not with questions or rhetorical questions. So make sure you limit yourself on that. I think Cap did a beautiful job at jumping in there and calling out that one. Well, it was kind of like a clarifying question, but it was still a
Yeah, he
question.
didn't do it. It wasn't like a slick way. It
Right,
was. He
right.
just wanted clarity. Which is
Which
okay,
made
but we
sense for
don't.
that question. It made sense for that
Right,
question. So,
right.
good job that on that one, Cap. I got both clocks set at 20 minutes and 2 minutes. So once the first y'all what's up, you start speaking, I'll start one clock, and then once Dre start answering, I'll start the other one. Make sure you're pinging people into the room, not only for the end of this round three, as well as if the brothers elect to have an open bill afterwards, or if Cap wants to bring people up to the stage to ask questions, that can be done as well. So Cap, you got it.
Yeah, no problem. And then again, I'll just be mindful. Dre, of course, if you get asked a yes or no question before you expound, you're going to say yes or no first, and then you'll be able to expound. Y'all stop if you're ready. The time will begin once you start speaking.
Can you give me the ancient manuscript, not fragment, the manuscript that the book of Enoch was translated from?
No, I don't have the exact fragment.
Okay, cool. No problem. Uh, this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day of Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So also shall the coming of the Son of Man be. The Bible states that the latter days shall be of the days of Noah. So where are the angels that are having sex with females now?
Just for clarification, what verse are you referencing so I can pull it up? YAWASAP?
No problem. This is Matthew 24, 37, 39.
Okay.
If you could just next time, if you could repeat that because you kind of phrased that like a question. You can go ahead though.
All right. You said Matthew 24. Let me get there. I got you. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, see, I'm in Matthew 24 now. Let me see. Which verse did you say? I'm not asking a question, just for clarity.
Yeah, y'all can stop my time. That's
Yeah, you
cool.
stop this time. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
Yeah,
yeah,
it's.
you good on that.
time to stop.
Yeah, I don't got it. Yeah, I don't got a
Okay.
problem with him clarifying. That's cool. As
I'm
long as
about
when I clarify.
I'm about to add a 35 back, and then once you restate the question, then we'll go the same way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Let me
just
know
want
when
to.
you're done. Let me know when you're done doing the time thing. Then it's Matthew 24,
Okay.
37, and 39.
Got you.
Just start the time when he starts talking again.
Okay, yeah, it says, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that there will be. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't think this is problematic. It's in reference to the context of the things or the events that were taking place. It literally says, for they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So it's just letting us know when the Son of Man, when the Son of Christ come, it's going to be the same events going on. People are going to be marrying, people are going to be giving in marriage, and those same events are going to be taking place. This isn't in the same context of what you're talking about in Genesis chapter 6.
Where are if we're in the days of Noah now, just as the latter days, where are the sons of angels? Where are the angels having sex with females now? That was my question.
Yes, and again, I'll answer it again. I'll say the same thing. According to the verse, it tells you, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So it's just letting you know, in the days when Christ returned, we're going to have similar events going on as far as mankind, where you're going to be eating and drinking, and the same type of events going on. So I don't agree that this is talking about the same context. I'm done.
No problem. Uh, in Revelation 2 and 3, Christ spoke to the angels of the church, right? Let me give you an example. And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, right? So, just an example. Are these angels Christ is speaking to men or angelic celestial beings?
You said Revelation chapter 2 and verse 3? Or you talking about the whole chapter?
Can you stop my time again?
Hey, so
Sure.
can we pause the time? Hey, Dre, what I'm gonna need you to do is kind of focus more on the scriptures that he was asking, so you don't have to ask him to repeat it because he literally just said it, and right after he says it and asks a question, you keep asking for the scripture. All right, so this is kind of like the second time.
Did he say a specific scripture?
Yeah, both times he mentioned the scripture he was referencing and then asked you the question, and both times you keep asking him to repeat it. I just need you
No.
to focus so we can stop pausing the time because now we're about
Oh,
to add time back to y'all side.
okay, well,
Where
like I said, only said it because I'm looking at Revelations 2 and 3, and it says, and has borne and has patience, and for my name's sake has labored and has not fainted. So I didn't know if he was talking about the verse or the chapters. That's why I'm asking.
no problem. But let's say if he says, "Can you break down Revelations 2 and 3?" Break it down. Let's say if it's the wrong verse, that's his fault, not yours.
Okay, cool.
But
All
when you
right.
keep asking him, and you
Okay.
did this previously, but you can't keep asking him what verse was that because it comes across a little disingenuous that you're not listening to him. So let's just stay focused on here. So I want to give about 50 seconds back with this explanation. YAWASAP, you can ask the question again in the book, chapter, and verse. After Corey confirms he added the time. You're going to get 50 seconds back,
The
Corey?
time is back
50.
set.
All
Yeah.
Come.
right. Will my
All
time
right, no
start
sweat.
when I
There you
start
go.
speaking, or when Dre
Yeah.
answers the question?
No,
When I start speaking.
no. No. After you speaking and Dre starts answering the question, then your time goes.
All right. No sweat. All
All
right.
right.
So in Revelation 2, chapter 2, and Revelation chapter 3, Christ spoke to the angels of the church. This is an example. Revelation 2 and 8, and unto the angel of the church in Smyrna. Right. This is the example I'm using. Are these angels Christ is speaking to men or angelic celestial beings?
Okay, now I understand your question. Let me go and see. I'm going to look at the word in the Greek. And I'm just toning it down for the kids. It says a messenger, envoy, one who is sent, an angel, a messenger from God. So when I look at Revelations 2, and then I look at Revelation chapter 3, let me see. I have no reason to believe anything else. So that's my answer.
No problem. In the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 25, who are the angels speaking to Rahab?
In James 2, I got you. 2 and 5, it says, Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not God chosen the poor of this world rich in faith and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love? Let me see. But ye have despised the poor, do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats. So again, angels can mean messenger. It's always dealing with the context. So I don't have an issue with angels, just like I don't have an issue with sons of God. There's multiple contexts used. They both can represent a believer, a messenger, or a follower. So I don't understand what really the purpose is, because I agree that angel or it's referenced in different ways. I deal with the context and how it's used. So if the point of going to these verses to say, well, angel here, or this doesn't mean what it says, I don't really have an issue with that. But again, when I'm talking about sons of God, angel, there are multiple contexts how those things are used. So I never said the sons of God always mean one thing, just like I never said the angel always mean one thing. It's based on the context. I'm going to the context of the references and the history of how these things were used and understood by actual Hebrews and according to Scripture. I'm done.
All right, no problem. And it was, by the way, you were on the wrong verse. It was James 2 and 25. Dre, you please have to listen carefully, bro. Now, G32, which is angel in the New Testament, and H4394, which is angel in the Old Testament, this is referred to humans and celestial beings, which are angels, correct?
Yes.
All right, no problem. In Galatians 4 and 13 through 14, why did Paul call himself an angel of God?
Because again, an angel can be a messenger. I just read it in the Greek, just like the Son of God can be a Christian, the Son of God can be Adam, the Son of God can be angels. Again, you're not making any sense to go and show one place or to show how it's being used. I never said that one always means one thing at any time. The understanding is when you follow the context, or when you follow and I reference the history, and I reference it even in the Hebrew and Greek, it's clear. They're making a clear distinction of what they're referencing or what they're talking about. So you going to show an angel meaning a messenger, I don't disagree with that. Just like I know a son of God can mean Adam, or a son of God can mean a believer, or a son of God can mean how it was referenced. I got 2 minutes. How it was referenced to David, or how it was used in regards to the angels. Again, I'm dealing with the context of how these things are used. So you're just making a void point.
Thank you for proving my point. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, Dre. You're actually helping me out. Break down Genesis 6 and 5.
I got you. I'll do it happily. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to it proudly. Genesis chapter 6, and it says in verse 1. And you said 6 and 5. In verse 5, it says, And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of heart was continuously evil. So, of course, when you're talking about the scriptures, it's for the most part, it's dealing with mankind, but it's letting you know how the angels had an effect and caused these things to happen. Just like when we read in Genesis chapter 6, it's talking about mankind, but we see how the serpent had an influence on the things that Adam and Eve failed to. So again, even here in Genesis 6 and everywhere else, you don't read about certain things taking place. Example, you couldn't tell me who was behind the serpent's action until you go to the New Testament. You couldn't tell me who you believe the trees are until you go to the book of Ezekiel. So again, I'm dealing with the context of it, and the scriptures focus primarily on mankind, and it's letting us know how these angels affected the fall of mankind. It's easy. I don't see how you stumbling at that.
No problem. In the book of Enoch, chapter 19, verse 2, Can you break that down? Read it for the audience and break it down.
Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta get it. Enoch chapter 2. 19 verse 2, he said. Okay, here we go. It says, it says, then Uriel said, hear the angels who cohabited with women, appointed their leaders, and being numerous in the appearance, made men profane and called on the earth. So they sacrificed to devils as to gods,
Nah,
saying, in the
that's.
great day
I'm
there shall
sorry.
be a.
Stop. Don't. You can rewind. My bad, Dre. That's not what I'm looking for. I'll read it because there are certain books of Enoch that's different, right? So you don't even got to stop the time. That's my fault, right? Enoch 19:2. And the woman also, the angels who went astray, shall become sirens. Break that down.
Let me go to it real quick because, yeah, I kind of think that was pretty deceitful when you went to sirens. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you what this brother did. When you deal with the word siren, it was simply a seductive woman who usually seduced men with a beautiful voice or their singing. So what you did, Yawasap, is you deliberately picked the mythological definition of the word to discredit the book of Enoch. Just like atheists do the same thing when they reference dragons or unicorns. You went to the word or the reference to kind of suit your narrative. So again, the siren, it also applies to a seduct. I'm glad you asked, I wanted to get to this because that was a weak point. It says a siren, and let me get the definition. I'm gonna pull up the definition as well. I got you. I got 2 minutes. Cause I wanted to get to that. It says, anybody pull it up right now. According to what I'm looking at, it says siren definition. It says a seductively beautiful or charming woman, especially one who beguiles man. So all Yawasap did was deceptively pick the one that he thinks fits his narrative to take away from Enoch because he doesn't have any historical sources to substantiate his view. And when he know we can pinpoint when his view started in the Roman Catholic Church with the Bishop of Hippo. But we'll talk about that. I'm done.
No problem. Just like you don't have any historical evidence of the book of Enoch with any manuscript. That's cool. When we go to Enoch chapter 7 and verse 2, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Break that down.
Oh, well, once again, even easier. Even when you're dealing with the L's throughout history, that they understood the L's to be different. If you're talking about an Egyptian L from the elbow to the fingertip, it could have been different from the Hebrew L. Those things were reckoned differently all throughout history. So I don't really have an issue with even. Let's say you're right for the sake of conversation. You know what I mean? The scripture says that the Lord fled the earth a donkey's talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get to one point or one scripture or something that I don't like. I think it's illogical and put my view on it. All types of things in the scriptures don't necessarily have to line up with the way I view things today. But as far as the L's, I think that's a weak point because I can point to multiple sources that reckon L by different lengths and different as far as how they the people viewed it back in the times past. So once again, I think it's a mute point because you have no history or whatsoever to substantiate your view. I have multiple sources. So again, we can talk. You can discredit mine. Let's just let it be known for the listening audience. He ain't got none. Why he's saying what mine can't, and why he's trying to attack mine. Yawasap has none. No historical sources. Mr. Historicity ain't got nothing to substantiate his understanding of the Bible. So let's keep that on account. I'm done.
No problem. You didn't break it down. I'm gonna repeat it.
10 minutes left.
And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. Break it down.
Okay, again, if I'm understanding the question, I'll tell you, I got 2 minutes. I guess he's trying to say 3,000 L's based on her height. I just said it, brothers and sisters. Even if they were that tall, again, the scriptures talk about talking donkeys. The scriptures talk about men being raised from the dead and all types of things. So if that's the logic that he wants to take just because it disagrees with him, this is really just about discrediting Enoch because Enoch clears them out when we date back to the 200 BC. Enoch is clear on what the Hebrews believed. It was clearly referenced in Matthew 22 when Christ said, you err not knowing the scriptures. Notice he couldn't explain that. Notice all he did was tap dance around these things. So this is just an attempt to discredit Enoch because Enoch, Philo, Josephus, the Book of the Giants in the Dead Sea Scrolls. We got Tertullian, and we got multiple other sources that substantiate my view and my claim. But Mr. Historicity over here, he got -3. So I'm not really concerned with how you feel about what that L is when you don't even understand how it was reckoned or how it changed throughout history. I'm done.
Got you. Since you're talking about context, in Genesis 6, where's the context to tell if it's man or an angel?
Let's get that. Let me get back to Genesis 6. Let me see. So first off, the brother referenced the Strong. Anybody can pull up the Strongs or on Bible Hub right now. And when you go to Elohim, if you pull up Elohim, the gods, look at definition C, brothers and sisters. And what it says is angels. It says song. It says literally gods equal angels. And what verse does it reference? Or what chapter does it reference? Because now he went to the Strongs, and if anybody know how they do, they conveniently pick and choose when to reference the Strongs. But that's another conversation. Genesis chapter 6, it says right here, 6 and 2, it was reference to the literal angels if you pull it up on Bible Hub. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull another reference real quick because I got 2 minutes. It says, let me see. Here we go. I'll put the context. So when you, again, in verse 1, and it came to pass when the daughters of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. I read this earlier. Daughters of men. What are the descendants of whoever he's talking about? Remember, he said, I ain't say Cain, but he ain't put a label on it. He ain't put a stamp on it because he know he know he can't. Clearly, you know he can't. So it's clearly showing you we have mankind, daughters of men, Adam. I went to it earlier, read the definition and read it in the Hebrew. Then when you get to verse 2, it says that the sons of God saw the daughters of men. So if mankind is verse 1, why would I get to verse 2 and make the sons of God be something that you can't even read about in the book of Genesis? And then we can go to the book of Job, chapter 38, and see clearly what the sons of God was referenced to. And I'm going to read it real quick. Job, chapter 38. And I'm going to just read
15 seconds on your answer.
Okay. It says, here we go. Verse 4. Where was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? In verse 4. Declare it thou hast understanding. Who have laid the measures thereof? And if thou knowest, who
Time.
have stripped. Okay.
In the book of Enoch, chapter 67 and verse 2, and the angels, it says the angels made, right, the ark. Can you show me that in the 80 books from Genesis to Revelation in the KJV? Can you show me where angels built the ark?
Okay. So earlier you said it was a different Enoch. Sorry, I got to ask him this. Star, you can stop this time. Is this Enoch book 1? So I can pull it because I don't want to pull a verse and it's not what he's talking about. And you have to read it.
Oh, no problem. I get it for you. Give me a second.
For
You
sure.
could, yeah, I got you, King. I'm gonna let you know.
All right, so
Enoch
we'll
book
pause right here
one,
just
Enoch
for the
book two.
clarification.
You said Enoch book 2?
No, hold on. I'm just joking around. Enoch book one, Enoch book two. This is crazy. All right, I got you.
Kind of like second Ezra's. No manuscripts
This
forever.
time is paused.
Yeah.
Well, Dre, I don't want you to talk till you get to the book, and then this time is paused because you need this clarification. So this doesn't count against his time.
What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send it to you, Cap, so you could post it on the top. All right.
Oh,
Sending it. I just
sorry.
put it. I just sent it to you right now. You see it? You could put it. You could
Uh,
put it on the top,
I don't
so we
want
can
to,
see.
but I will. Salaki. Um, I'm gonna pin this link. I'm about to pin this link that Yawasap sent. So Dre, I think you can see it at the top now. Once you click it, just let me know.
All right, cool. So
So Dre, I just need you to let me know you
Yeah,
clicked
I can
it.
see it. Yeah, I can see it. I'm clicking it now. It says the
Alright,
book
no
of
sir.
Enoch. Yeah, it says the book of Enoch, chapter 67, and it says,
Alright, so we can so now the time will continue, Corey, because he has it now.
Con.
before it
Alright, peace.
does, before it does,
Well, I'm just I
Dre,
can take this down now, right? Wow.
Dre, do you remember my question? Before it does.
I mean, I thought you said, where did this take place in the scriptures, where the angels built the ark? If I didn't hear it correctly,
This is why I didn't want the time to start yet. This is why, because Dre
Okay.
doesn't pay attention. Dre doesn't pay attention. Dre, after you read, After you read that, right, in Enoch 67, verse 2, right, it's saying that angels built the ark. I want you to show me from the book of Genesis to the book of Revelation, the 80 books that we have in the KJV. I want you to show me how this lines up with the Bible. Where in the Bible are angels building the ark? Cap, you childish for that.
Y'all go ahead, man. I'm just moderating.
Okay, yeah, so I'm reading there. It says, and now the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have completed the task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it, and there shall come forth from it the seed of life, and a change shall set in so that the earth will not remain without inhabitant. And I will make fast thy seed, as I said before me, forever and ever, and I will spread abroad those who dwell with thee. It shall not be unfruitful on the face of the earth, but it shall be blessed in the it shall be blessed and multiply on the earth in the name of the Lord. And he will imprison those angels who have shown unrighteousness in that burning valley, grandfather, which Enoch has formerly shown to me in the west among the. So you said this was them building the ark. I do see where it says the angels are making a wooden building, and when they have complete, yes, I disagree with their interpretation that it's completely. If you would like to expound, we can, but I disagree with how you're interpreting this text. So first off, yes, I can't show something that I don't even agree that you're interpreting correctly.
No problem. So in the book that you subscribe to, that's no problem. This is crazy. All right. Let's see. Where do I want to go? Enoch 40:9. Let's go to Enoch 40:9. It says, "The second is he who presides over every suffering affliction of the sons of men, the holy Raphael. The third who presides over all the power is Gabriel. And the fourth who presides over repentance and the hope of those who woo eternal life is Phaniel. These are the four angels of the Most High God, and their four voices which at the time I heard." Who is Phaniel, and why is he doing something that only Christ should be doing?
Okay, let me read that. It said Enoch 49. It says, yeah, the second is he who presides over. No, and yeah, and firstly, no, once again, YAWASAP, you killing yourself. Because we know even in the scriptures, the Old and the New Testament, it references how some angels are over prayers or over delivering certain things to the Most High. We got certain angels, even in Daniel chapter 9 or Daniel chapter 10, we got angels over the Prince of Greece. Matter of fact, I want to take all my time to read this because the Yahweh clearly don't understand the position of angels in the text. Let me go to Deuteronomy 32 and 8 firstly. Because I think this is actually a weak point, a mute point, but I understand this has to be done because Enoch is a killer. Enoch is a body blow. But no, let me see here. Deuteronomy 32 and 8, it says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. And when you read it in other translations, whether it be the Septuagint, because I want to cite my source, it says according to the sons of God. So I'm about to go to Daniel chapter 10. Just let me know on my time. Here it is. Okay, Daniel chapter 10 and verse 12 is when Daniel prayed to the Most High, and this is when an angel came to deliver the message to him. So I'm in 10 and 12, anybody? Here it is, verse 12. It says, then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy works were heard, and I am come forward with thy words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Micah, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. So he just told him, Daniel, from the day that you prayed, the Most High heard your prayers, and he sent someone to deliver a message from me.
10
Because the
seconds.
prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood the angels. And when you continue down, just for the sake of time, he tells you that he had to fight with the prince of Persia for 21 days just to get the message delivered. So this is my view that angels are over every nation, and this is why
All
they
right,
had to
cool. You
fight.
don't get
I'm done.
you don't get extra time. You
Two
don't get extra
two
time.
minutes, 2 minutes left in the entire round.
All right, no problem. This clearly showed after everything I brought that the book of Enoch completely contradicts the Bible. This is the problem here. All right. And we're going to go back because this is my last question, I'm guessing. This is Genesis 6 and 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. When it says the wickedness of man, are angels included there? Are angels included in this verse?
Okay, I'll answer this question again. No, no. I answered no, and I'm going to continue. Again, I asked earlier. This is how you know he ain't got nothing else. Again, this is all about discrediting Enoch because the history of this kills it. The scholarship kills it. Again, I mentioned earlier that the Bible is basically letting you know the downfall of man, but it's giving us understanding of how the angels played a role in this when we deal with Genesis chapter 6. Just like when we deal with Genesis chapter 1 with Adam and Eve and the fall, where the serpent beguiled Eve. Huh? But who was behind that? Well, you don't read about that till the New Testament. So again, when these brothers try and do this immediate context stuff, you just make yourself look more unlearned and unstudied in the scriptures because it's not always narrated like that. Now, why it's not, I can't always say, but the text does not always directly attribute what's going on at that time. Again, just like in Genesis chapter 1, in Genesis, when the serpent beguiled Eve, you don't read that Satan was behind that literally until the New Testament. But if we take Yawasap's logic, if we take his premise, oh, it's Satan had to do it was just some mistake. Notice he didn't want to deal with Ezekiel 28 that lets you know the cherubims that was in the garden. He just tapped danced all around that. So no, there was no contradiction. He tried to read a contradiction in the ark. He tried to say said something it didn't say, then he fell back on that. So again, this is just about disproving Enoch because Enoch is the body blow. But again, we got Josephus, we got Tertullian, we got Philo, we got the Book of the Giants, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I got enough to go for another 30 minutes to an hour on this. This is Mr. Historicity with no history. So y'all think he ain't got no historical sources for my benefit? Okay, I'll let.
Do I have time left?
No. You got 15 seconds left on your answer, Dre. Are you yielding?
Oh, well, if I got 15 seconds, no, I'm not yielding. Again, in Genesis chapter 6, it's focusing on the downfall of man and how the angels played a role in that. But the scriptures in its entirety are dealing with mankind. But sometimes it explains to us how we got in this position, just like Genesis chapter 3 and just like so many other texts that we have.
All right, good deal. That actually concludes the formal debate area that Yawasap and Dre had on Genesis chapter 6. In terms of the topic, the sons of God, whether they were men or angels. Make sure you're following the Versus platform. Click that little green house, become a member, and nominate others. Make sure you're following the moderators on stage, myself, Captain Tazariak, as well as the teachers for today, Yawasap and Dre. We're gonna give both brothers 2 minutes to conclude. Dre was the challenger, so he will go first. So Dre, you will have 2 minutes to conclude. You can utilize Bible scriptures in your conclusion. We always try to say is utilize your words as much as possible. But just simply reintroduce yourself, tell the people your school of thought, and then what you taught the people today. You got 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the brother for the format. But again, my understanding is that these sons of God and Jesus are angels. Go back to antiquity. I referenced multiple sources from antiquity that understood it as such, just to show that that's not my view. The brother didn't want to show where he did this view, but if we go to the Roman Catholic theologian, Bishop of Hippo, from the
Dre, you're a little
4th century,
choppy.
the Catholic,
Dre,
Yawasap understand. I'm sorry. Can you hear
Dre,
me
you're a
better,
little choppy.
sir?
I don't want.
Am I still choppy?
Yeah, I
No,
thought it
you
was
sound.
just me.
You sound better now. Give him about. Yeah, he just dropped out.
Yeah, he'll probably be back
Maybe he's
in.
gonna come. Yeah, he'll probably come back in. We're gonna give him some time to come back. Give him like 10 more. Give him like 10 additional seconds for that. Corey.
Uh-huh.
All right, give him about 10
All right,
additional
I
seconds.
got it.
Dre, come on, Dre, you got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, my bad, y'all. But yeah, again, I was just showing my understanding is that the sons of God in Genesis 6 are angels. It's clear throughout history. I brought out multiple historical sources, and we have more. YAWASAP didn't lack history for my benefit. He lacked history because we can pinpoint these views in the Catholic Church in the 3rd to the 4th century. Anybody pull it up, the Roman Bishop of Hippo, the theologian from the 3rd to the 4th century, in his book City of Gods, is one of the first places we see this view, which would let you know that most Hebrews of antiquity understood it as such, had the same understanding of mind. His view has been pretty much to take away from Enoch, because Enoch is a body blow. It's clear what Christ and the Hebrews were referencing or sourcing, so he got to take away from them. But again, we got Tertullian. He didn't mention, he stayed away from Josephus. He tapped danced around Ezekiel 28, talking about it's a parable. So the cherubim in the garden, who iniquity was found, it's a parable. You know what I mean? Then he didn't even touch Zechariah chapter 3 with Satan being rebuked. Notice how he backflipped around that, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm going to put up my falling in the shower emoji in a minute. He stayed away from all these type of sources. I showed in the context of Genesis chapter 6. It clearly shows sons of God, mankind. I'm sorry, sons of God, angels, and we had children of men, mankind. I went to Psalms chapter 14. We go to Psalms chapter 53, 1 through 5. Romans 3 and 9 substantiates the whole thought. So the brother Yahweh, all this was about in Enoch, but he just, Enoch isn't the only source to substantiate this. We have the Hebrew, we have the Alexandrinus, we have the Vaticanus, and they translated these words, the sons of God, angels, which means Hebrews translated it from sons of God. And what they do sometimes, brothers and sisters, is they'll use a hyper equivalent, which means instead of just translating it verbatim, they'll translate it to let you know what the text is talking about. See, this is why YAWASAP is sourceless on this end.
We appreciate that, Dre. Y'all, you're now gonna have your 2 minutes to go ahead and close out. Do y'all have time? I don't think Corey mentioned this. After we close out, do y'all have time if we bring people up for Q&A, or y'all have Q&A for each other?
Yeah, you could bring people up. That'll be good for the Q&A.
How about you?
Get the audience involved.
Yeah, how about you, Dre? You got time for that?
Yeah, I got a few minutes.
All right, no sweat. So people in the queue, now I know we got a lot of people in here. Appreciate it. If y'all haven't followed the room, the Versus room, please make sure you follow the room. The people that are in that have raised their hand, we got a couple of people. I'm gonna bring y'all up after YAWASAP does his 2 minutes, just to be fair to him. And when you come up here, you'll be able to, ask your questions, and we'll get down like that. All right. So YAWASAP, go ahead and do your closeout.
Yeah, no sweat, no sweat. First I want to just say I clearly showed that angels, whether good or evil, through the scriptures, obey God. They do not go against God. Therefore, they don't sin because they listen to the commandments that God says. I prove angels cannot mix with humans because one body is terrestrial, one is celestial, and they don't mix. I prove through the questioning, which was clear because he admitted it himself, depending on the context, angels or angelos or mala'ak in the Hebrew can be applied to men and angelic beings. But he's going to choose on where he wants to apply them. This was clear throughout the entire discussion. He also brought up a fairy tale and thought the fairy tale was going to go hand in hand with him. He also brought up what? Historians that were extremely influenced by the Hellenistic views on what was going on during the time on when all of these things began to spring upon the earth. It's very simple what happened. I clearly showed my stance and I showed how it was biblical. All I needed to do is use the Torah. That's all I needed to do. It's that simple. I don't really have much to say. This brother YAWASAP from Rum Gadar Gabarium. I appreciate it. One thing I will say is I appreciate the decorum, Dre. I appreciate the build. You wasn't crazy. You wasn't using profanity. You wasn't being disrespectful, and that's how builds should happen. And for anybody out there on Dre's side, because I'm gonna say this, that was complaining about the decorum and the mods that's gonna happen on the verses. This clearly shows that this is where you debate at, right here.
All right. Appreciate that. Good debate from both combatants. Excellent decorum. We have people in the queue. If y'all know anything about when I moderate them, I usually bring them up 5 or 6 at a time. So I'm going to bring you guys up because a lot of people have questions. The people that come up when you ask the questions, it's not going to be a long diatribe between you and the others. I believe actually how I did it before. I would bring about 5 or 6 up at a time, and then make sure the questions that y'all had was even to everyone. Meaning it's not just a question where Dre just getting bombarded with questions or YAWASAP getting bombarded with questions. It would be something where both sides are being able to ask questions. Okay? So that's how I'm going to bring, just so everybody understand, that's how I'm going to bring everybody up. So what I'm going to do first, when I bring y'all up, I think I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got enough people up here for now. So I'm just going to ask a quick question to everyone. Who's your question for? You're just going to state if it's for YAWASAP or Dre. You're not going to ask your question yet. You're just going to state who it's for. All right? So, I'm going to unmute you first. Matter of fact, if you could just let me know who the question's for.
Yo, what's up?
Richard, who's the question for?
Yo, what's up?
Deacon, who's the question for?
Yo, what's up?
Mac, who's the question for?
Both.
Legendary, who's the question for?
It's more of a comment.
Okay, we're going to move you down. We ain't got time for comments right now. Ariel, who's the question for?
Yeah, what's up?
Now you got 2 people with. Oh, y'all was stop answering phone. Demar, who's the question for? Demar, who? Say again.
Both.
Okay. Santonio. Oh, Santonio dropped down. Sakan, who's the question for? Sakan, you in the school? Sluggy Sakan, I'm gonna go ahead and move you down. All right. Ariella, who's the question for?
Joe.
All right. So we're gonna go in the order that everybody just spoke about, and again, you don't want.
Damn, I thought it was gonna be even, Cat.
Well, you got 2 of the brothers up here that's for
I'm
both,
just
so I think
messing
it's
with
3
you.
for you.
I'm just messing with
Oh,
you. I
okay.
can take it.
Yeah,
I'm just messing
it's
with you.
because of the 2. It's because of the 2 for both that kind of evens it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So now for the brothers that's asking questions, we don't want no long soliloquy. This is not your debate. This is Dre and YAWASAP's debate. Just get to the question so the brothers can answer it. All right.
Am I first?
Yes, it is.
Kind. All right. This is a question from the book of Judith, chapter 16, verse 7, and it reads: "For the mighty one did not fall by the young men, 1, neither by the sons of the Titans, 2, by the young men's, neither did the sons of the Titans smite him," that's 2 different classes, "nor the giants, nor the high giants set upon him, but Judith, the daughter of Merari, weakened him with the beauty of her countenance." My question is, who are the sons of the Titans right there and the high giants for YAWASAP?
No problem. It's just as I illustrated in the book of Numbers, chapter 13 and verse 31 on down. These are just simply allegories that the Bible's using. The only reason why it says Titans here is because the oldest manuscript during Judith at the time was Greek when it was translated into the KJV and the 80 books. So what they used during that time was Greek words, and they used Titans. That's all it is, Doc. It's nothing spooky. It's nothing crazy. It's that simple. We can move on.
Appreciate that. Don't buy the answer. Thank
you. Shalom.
All right. I'm gonna drop you down as we go. Yeah, there you go. Richard, what's your question?
Now, angels and do angels exist? Like, does the word say that they exist? What do you
Spit the
You can
fuck
go
up.
ahead and
Yes.
No,
Angels
you
exist.
ain't
Get the
even
hell
gotta
out of
answer.
here.
Y'all stop. You ain't even gotta answer.
The hell was
Deacon, you
that,
can
Cap?
go.
That's your fault.
It is. I take that. Deacon, it's your time to answer the. If y'all gonna come up here and ask questions, be
Yo, man.
prepared. Be prepared for the question question you gonna ask, man? So Deacon, it's on you, Benak.
That was LeBron's little brother.
Hey, listen, hey, y'all, what's up, man? I didn't know that you relied on that Strong's Concordance so heavily, man. I posted a link in your back chat,
Yeah, I
man.
seen
And,
it. What's up?
I put up there Strong's 430 for Elohim. It say something about the sons of God. Could you read definition C for me?
Hold on.
Are you
What is the
asking a
question?
question?
What is the question?
Yes.
Ask the question.
The question is, can you read definition C in the
No,
Brown
that's
Driver
not.
Briggs?
Nah, I'm not doing that. This nigga out of here. That's not a question, bro.
All right, Mac, your question.
Okay, cool. So my question is, since my question is to both, um, when you read Yahweh, when you read the passage where it says the giants were 3,000 ells, um, could you tell me two things? One, what is the measurement based on?
No problem.
And oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your question. All I said was no
Oh,
problem to that. Yeah,
You
finish your
you
question.
wait, hold on. Matt, you only get one question. So
okay.
He did say one for me and one for Dre. If that's cool, Corey.
no, he said Matt, when you say
Right, but I thought
both,
it was.
yeah,
I thought it was one question for
right,
both of them to answer. Not a
right,
nigga trying to get up here and shine and try to have two different questions.
right.
Watch it.
Okay, my bad. So I word the question this way: Is it possible is it possible that the L's are based on measurements of a person that is bigger or taller than modern day man of what we see today? So, for instance, just to give an example, real quick, if Captain Tazariak is 7 feet tall, and I'm only
Just ask the question, bro.
I
We
am
don't got all
7
night
feet
here.
tall.
okay, okay.
We don't got all night, bro. Dre said he got a
Are
couple
the
minutes. Ask the question, bro.
L's different? Are the L's different if it's based on a person's body measurement of his own self?
No, bro. What the hell? Let's move on. Ariel, come on, man. Ask questions, man. Questions. The only one that asked a real question so far was bro.
Peace, am I on?
Yeah, what's good?
Yes.
All right, cool. Well, first and foremost, good job moderating tonight. The moderating definitely changed since we turned the heat up and got all those people off the stage. But anyway, my question is 2 Peter 2:4, which reads,
Hey,
"For if God
don't
spared
take
not the
shots at
angels."
moderation. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't take shots like that, bro. Yeah, don't take shots like that, bro. Come on, bro.
It's
What the
okay.
hell
Let's
is
leave
going on
that.
here?
No, it's fine. Let's just leave it at there. If you take the
Oh,
stage, you have a question. Hold on, Demar. If you can mute your mic. If you taking the stage, you actually have a genuine question for like YAWASAP or DREY. Those are the teachers, the scholars that's building on the platform. So if you guys got any questions, make sure you reference the question to them. And be sincere about the question that you have. Whether you honestly feel like their position is wrong, ask the question cleanly so you can get an answer and the audience can be edified. Even if you stump them in the question, sometimes that is your aim to stump the individual. Don, mute your mic, please. Don, mute your mic. Antoine, mute your mic. If everybody can just hold for a second, we'll hold before we bring them up. Make sure your question is clean to the people. We don't care. Listen, I want to say this. When you're coming up to the stage to ask a question, we don't care who you are here. Ask the question to the person. The introductions, Captain Cesario did not do any. I did not do any. That's not important on a versus platform. It's only for Yawasap and Dre. We don't care who you are. If you reference who you are, you reference your school, you reference for anything, you will just be moved from the room permanently. It's just that simple, and you won't have space to come back to the versus room, period. It's very simple. Ever. You come to the stage with quorum. This is not a joke space. It's a formal debate. Keep the childishness off the stage. We're not playing here. These men put together real lessons to be able to teach the opposite side or to teach the people in the audience their perspectives. That's what took place here. It's no jokes, it's no cap, it's no playing. I don't care who you friends with. When you come to the stage, simply get straight to your question. No comments or nothing. Say your question. We're going to move you back down and allow the teachers to answer the question. It's as simple as that. I think we got in the queue is Damar, Ariala, and then everybody else will have to be introduced. So,
right,
Damar,
correct.
Captain, you got it.
So, Damar, what's your question?
Okay, so my question is, a few days ago, I was on Clubhouse and I heard someone speaking. They were saying that it was about when we was in the garden, when Adam and Eve was in the garden, and once they seen each other naked, it was like a discussion about whether or not the way that they seen each other, was they invisible, or if you want to say. So my question to that, and that's why I said both, whoever can answer it or whoever wants to answer it. At that time, would we had been considered to be the same as far as like visually the way that we looked as angels as well? I hope that's not a dumb question. I was just curious about that.
I'm sorry. Can you restate that, bro?
Okay, so the other day, I kind of
Hey,
think that
brother,
was.
just state the question. We heard that soliloquy.
Yeah,
Just
no
give the
other
question,
day.
brother.
Just yeah.
I'm just trying to see it in the garden before she ate the apple or whatever. Before that, they noticed that they was naked. Was we in the same form as angels, or was it different?
Okay.
A man is a man, and an angel is an angel. A human is a human, and an angel is an angel. Dre, you
Was
can
that for
answer
both?
too, bro.
Right. I think that was for both. Dre, you wanted to answer that as well?
Yeah, I understand. I'm not being funny. I ain't understanding the question entirely, but I'm gonna say the same
He
thing. A
want to
man is a
know what
man, and an
Adam and
angel
Eve
is an
body.
angel.
Right. What he's asking is, what was Adam and Eve body before they ate the apple? That's his words, not mine.
Okay, I got you. I give you this, brother. This is the best I can do for you, brother. Let me get this verse in Wisdom of Solomon. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom of Solomon. I'm gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, real quick. And this is the best I can do. I got you. Oh, here it is in verse 23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Verse 24. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side, do find it. So my understanding is before the fall, yes, the Most High made them immortal. What state that was, I honestly cannot tell you entirely, though, brother. And that's my answer.
All right, Ariella.
So on, family. Brother Dre, you had mentioned something about the books of Enoch and, of course, the book of the giants, and you mentioned linked them to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Other Dead Sea Scrolls, what is the only complete manuscript of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and is either of the book of the what's it called, the book of the giants or the book of Enoch? Are they one of those scrolls or manuscripts?
Real quick. So to answer your question, let me see. Honestly, I don't believe, as far as the Dead Sea Scrolls, I believe we have fragments of them. So I believe you got large portions of the book of Enoch that are in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So Enoch is what they call in the Ethiopian Bible, and I even got some Ethiopic translations of it. So to answer your question, I'm not going to say yes, the whole thing is in it. Just like there's fragments of the Bible in it. Just like there's from the One West perspective, y'all don't have no manuscripts of Second Ezra's. You just got portions of it in the Dead Sea Scrolls. But you cannot take me back to no original manuscript of Second Ezra's. But however, brothers quote that and brothers cite that. So like I said, I just deal with consistency and the method of hermeneutics to show that consistency. So that's my answer.
Gonna bring some other people up first. Khan, hold on
Yeah,
one second,
yeah,
Dom.
you got it,
What?
Cap. Got it.
Khan. So we just bring a couple other people up real fast. Hold on a second. Bring up the next batch of brothers. All right, so if y'all been up here, as y'all come up here, y'all know, Mike, mute your mic. You might be hard headed. There you go. As y'all come up here, I'm just gonna ask y'all who the question is for first. So I'm gonna go through everybody in here. The only question you're gonna answer is if it's for Yawasap or Dre. So Don, who's the question for?
It's for Yawasap.
Antoine,
Both.
Malak. Malak, I don't know what that was. I'm gonna give you one more shot. I'm gonna have to move you down. Who's your question for? Yeah, brother, you might want to fix that cricket. There you go. He moved himself down. Dewad,
Trey.
Mac. Wasn't Mac just up here?
Yeah, I was. I was trying to get my question answered.
Yeah, we about to move you back down. You don't come up here twice. I say that as I let Ariella stay up there. It's like Ariella. I gotta let Mac go. I gotta let Mac come back up to be fair. Mac, raise your hand back. Salaka. Raise your hand back, Mac. Ariella is the question for.
You already know, Dre.
God.
Hold on
Mike?
1 second. I believe what question did Mac have? I think he was.
I think Mac was one where he said it was both, but I think he had a separate question for both, and we told him he couldn't do that at the time, so I think he's coming back up to ask his second question.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right, so I'll bring Mac back
Yes,
up.
sir.
Mike, who's your question for?
My question is for Dre, but both can answer.
Okay, Abishai,
YAWASAP.
Kevin,
YAWASAP.
Barbara.
Yeah, I had a question about the 12 chart tribes, the 12
Yeah, you
tribes.
can go
Get this
somewhere else
nigga
to
out
ask
of
that
here.
question, brother. Yeah,
Yo,
Get
Mac.
out of here,
why?
bro.
Why?
I got you, Mac. Hey, pay attention, man. The question is for this debate and this debate on. Now, Dre and Yawasap did an excellent job of being extremely professional. Let's give them the same courtesy as we ask questions and also be professional. Malak, who's your question for?
Both.
All right, no sweat. All right, so we're going to start with Don. And again, as y'all ask these questions, we don't want a long intro to the question because a lot of brothers have questions. So you just want to ask your question, get it answered, and we keep it moving. So we're going to start with you, Don, to the law, to the testimony. Go ahead, get down.
All right. So Yawasap, you said earlier that the sons of God were Israel that fell out of heaven. Do you recall that?
Is that your only question? You only could ask one question, so I want to make sure. I'm trying to help you out, Don. I think you misinterpreted what I'm saying. I'm trying to give you a chance out.
Yeah, you can't do a two-part question, Don. You got to do one question.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look out for you, Don. So just
Yeah,
ask
he's
your
trying to
question
help
out.
you.
I
Okay,
dropped
he
him
got.
down. I mean, he asked the question. Are we honoring that question, or are we going to allow him to re-ask
Nah,
it?
let him come back up. Give him some grace.
All right, no.
That's coming from me. If y'all don't want it, y'all the
I didn't
moderators.
move Don. I didn't do that,
No,
Don.
I moved them down, like rightfully so. Once they ask their question, I'm moving you guys down. No back and forth build. We're allowing Dre and Yawasop to lead tonight. So you ask a clean question, and then I'm gonna move you down. So just pay attention to the question you asking. Don, I just sent you an invite.
All right. Antoine, it's on you.
All right. I have a question for both debaters based on a statement that was made by Yawasap, where he stated that you had terrestrial bodies and celestial bodies. So my question is to both: why is it when we read about the children of men, the nations that come from these men, we oftentimes see that they have ites like Israelites, Canaanites, Moabites, but when we see the giants, the races of the giants, they are not after their kind with the name. Well, they are after their kind with the name, and you have the M, like the seraphim, angelic. They have angelic suffixes on the end of their name. So why is it that the giants have angelic suffixes at the end of their name, unlike the children of men who don't have those types of suffixes on the end of their names?
because suffixes
What?
apply to certain different words. This is crazy, to certain different words, Doc. It's not. This is not crazy. I don't even know why you asked that question. Can we have better questions on stage, please, for everybody that's after them? Suffixes just depend on the way words are pronounced. That's it. Californian, a Brooklynite, like that. It's that simple.
Salaki, as a resident Hebrew
Okay.
scholar, can I may I?
Wait.
No,
No,
Ariel.
not in this environment. You can't. And I got you in the queue. You keep unraising and raising your hand. I'm gonna bring you up after this batch. I promise. I try to do it this way. Like once, just so everybody understands. Once everybody introduces themselves, I don't want to bring anybody else new up, so I can keep track of the queue. But you'll come up. You ain't got nowhere to go. Just relax. So now it's on the wide. The wide. You can present your question.
Hey, real
All
quick,
right.
did he ask both of us? Did Antoine ask both of us, or did he just ask YAWASAP on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. His initial, he did say both, but he's not here no more. But I think I don't remember if he said both or not. But
Yeah,
Antoine, if you
he
did
said
say
both. He
both,
said it was based on a statement that y'all was made, but the question was for both of them.
okay. So Antoine, real fast, Antoine, I'm gonna bring you back up. Can you accept that invite I just sent you, Antoine? Go ahead and just ask the question again so Drake can answer.
Yeah, the question is why do the tribe and the nations of the giants have angelic suffixes at the end of their names, like the M's, the Zuzims, and stuff, when men have ites at the end of their name?
No problem. All right, go ahead, Dre.
For
Y'all
sure.
stop already answered you guys.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good question. And yeah, it was posed to Yawasap earlier, but I think that's because that's where they sent back from these angelic beings, which are denoted as cherubims. So we have Zuzims, we have Raphaims, we have Emims. That suffix to me is a clear description that these people do not, these individuals do not descend from human beings. That suffix to me, my understanding and research was only applied to the angels. So I think it's a good
Got you.
question.
Appreciate that, Antoine. I'm gonna send you back down. I appreciate that though. Dawad, you can go ahead and ask your question.
All right. No sweat. Um. All right. We all know everybody died during the flood, save 8 persons, right? This for Dre. My question is, the sons of Enoch, did the angels came down and had sex with the children of men again, or
My bad,
how
y'all.
did
My bad.
all right. My question is, after the flood, did the angels came down again and started to have sex with women again? Where did these Enochs came from?
Yes, sir. Good question. I kind of brought it out earlier. I think when we go to Genesis chapter 6, I'm going to read it again. I'm trying to get the verse. It says, here it is. In verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of man. So the scriptures is letting us know that with giants in the earth in those days, pre-flood and post-flood. So this would have been something that took place more than once, and this would have been a different group of angels, which we can pull and show in scripture as well. And then I'll say this and be done. It baffles me when brothers say, "Well, the Most High did this just for them to do it again." Well, if he created the flood to kill all mankind, for them to turn around and be wicked again right after the flood, that's the same thing. So it's still a bad logic and premise. So to answer your question, brother, yes, it's something that took place more than once.
All right, Mike. Go ahead with your question. I'm sorry, Ariella. I skipped you. I apologize.
Con. So, Dre asked, brought up again the book of the Giants. The author of the book of the Giants is his name is Mani. He is of Iranian origin. Was a prophet and founder of Manichaeism, a religion in late antiquity. So, can you show me the manuscript, the Hebrew manuscript that the book of the Giants goes back to, that was written by an Iranian by the name of the Prophet Mani? Can you show me that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he asked. I think he already asked this once, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you the same answer. No, because I believe that we have fragments of them. I can't show you the original manuscripts, just like you can't show me the original manuscripts of Second Ezra
We're not
or
asking.
Surah. But with your reference, second Ezra's, because there are certain fragments of it that you believe are in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So I'm saying the same thing. Can I show you the exact manuscripts? No, I cannot. But again, it's reference, and we have fragments of it, and we have other historical sources that line exactly up with it. And there's many references that you use. You cannot show the entire manuscript on. That's facts.
All right. Now we got my man Mike.
All praises, Shalom. My question is for Dre, but YAWASAP, you can answer as well, my brother. Brother Dre, would you consider yourself a Hebrew Israelite who keeps the faith of the Messiah and is pursuing the righteousness of the laws of the Most High God, Yahweh?
I'm sorry, Dre. Don't even answer that. That ain't got nothing. Just to be fair, bro, that ain't got nothing to do with the conversation, bro. We can move on, bro.
This is what I
Questions,
need. I don't be
yeah, questions
understanding,
have
man.
right. Like
This is
what?
not your time to shine, man.
Right, bro. Like who cared? That's not the debate. Why are you
Yeah,
asking what Dre do in his
don't
life?
worry about it, y'all. So we got it. We got it. We got it. We got
I'll
it.
be shy.
We got it.
Salakia.
Come on, I'll be shy. It's on you, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you. So, Yawasap, earlier you said that angels.
Shalom.
Peace, bro. What's up? Earlier you said that angels don't sin. So, can you explain Job chapter 4, verses 15 through 19 in light of that worldview?
Hold on
Yeah,
one
give me a
second.
second.
One second. Abishai, could you give like a straight to the point scripture? I think you just said Job chapter 4 verse 5 through 19. Is that what you just said?
I said 15 through 19, but 18 is the main point, if you want to go
Okay,
there.
yeah. Just get to the main point because it's supposed to be clean questions. So just read the scripture and then ask the question if you can.
Yeah, no doubt. So, Job chapter 4, verse 18 says, Behold, he puts no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. So, can you explain angels not sinning in that worldview?
Yeah, no problem. It's not talking about literal angelic beings in this context. This is talking about men. How much, this verse 19, how much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. This is talking about men. It's not talking about literal angelic beings.
Kevin G, my man. Hey, y'all haven't
My main
subscribed to
man, what's good?
Kevin's site. I might have to put his link up there too.
Yo,
Kevin,
I
send
was
me that
about to
link
say
again. I'm
that.
gonna throw
I
yours
was
up
about to
there.
say that.
Yeah,
Put
I'm
that up there,
subscribed to
Kev.
Kevin's business too, but he can't put it up there. I can put it up there though. I got the power, so
Oh, my bad.
no
No,
sweat.
it's good. But Captain, I appreciate that. Since y'all mentioned it, my book is actually based on the themes of Enoch. So if y'all interested, y'all can check that out.
Never mind. We won't push that. We won't put that link up there.
Come on, man.
Denied. Denied. But go ahead, Kevin. What's the question, bro?
Yeah, what's going on, Kevin?
Hey,
Make
what's
your
happening?
question clean, Kevin.
Oh,
Clean
bro, hey,
question.
I just got out the shop, man. It's waxed and everything. So check this out, right? So my question comes from this. In 2 Peter 2 and 4 through 5, it reads this. For if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down into hell and delivered them unto the change of darkness to be reserved for judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah and 8 persons, the preacher of righteousness, bringing forth the flood upon the world of the ungodly. There are 3 groups mentioned in these these 2 verses: the angels, the ungodly men of the world, and Noah. Could you please describe each of those groups?
Say that again. Just
Can
the
you
last
please
part.
describe? Yeah, could you please describe each of the groups mentioned in 2 Peter 2:4?
Okay, I'm seeing, but if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't really understand your question, to be honest.
Cap, are we giving grace to the brother Kevin to restate his question, or
Is he saying?
I think he's
what
We
he's
can give.
saying
We can give
is
him a little. Yeah,
yeah,
we can
yeah.
give him a
Let's
little
allow
grace.
him to
I'll bring him back up.
reword it for
Give it
you
a
tonight.
little.
You bringing him back up, Kevin?
Yeah,
You
I
up?
brought him back up.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, wasn't sure if I was not clear, but I'm gonna read this again. In Second
no, no,
Peter
no.
2.
You don't have to
All
read
right,
it.
let me just ask a direct question.
Just ask. Thank you.
Second Peter 2, 2 Peter chapter 2, 4-5 mentions three groups: the angels, Noah and his family, and the world of the ungodly. Can you please describe each of these groups mentioned here?
Oh, no problem. God spared not the angels, that'll be the sons of God, which is the lineage of Adam. Spared not the whole world, was talking about the entire earth. And the saved Noah and a person, that's just talking about Noah, his sons, and their wives, and his wife. That's the answer. Shalom. Hello?
No, yeah, we're going next. My man Mac, you up here?
Okay, my question is in pertains to Jude 1, verse 6, and it says, "And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting change unto darkness, unto the judgment of the great day." Could you explain if these angels mentioned here, if they are men? Could you show me in any passage where the Most High cast men and put them in chains into everlasting darkness?
Yeah, no problem. The chains of everlasting darkness is signifying the flesh. You can see that in Romans 7:14. You can see that in Matthew 26:41. You can also see that in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28, for one of the curses. But that's just, and then you can line that up also with Lamentations chapter 2, verse 1, just to make it simple. Okay. Next question.
All right, we're gonna bring the next set of brothers. He answered your question out. We're gonna move you down. This is gonna be the last set of. Unless y'all want to keep going, this is gonna be the last set of brothers I'm gonna bring up. I'm saying
That's
brothers,
cool.
not
Yeah, that's
disrespect.
cool. To be the last set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not to disregard sisters, but no sisters have come up. So I'm only saying brothers for that reason. And make sure I bring. Where my man? Where you go at? Is I'm trying to bring your ass up. You disappearing. Okay,
He
got
right
you.
there in the
Okay,
second
there
row.
go is. All right, there go is. I got is because he was
Yeah.
raising his hand up and down like a damn crackhead.
Man,
Damn.
okay, chill with the exit. Really. You know I want a
Yeah, we
second
know you
question.
did, but you was
You know I
raising
wanted
that
to,
shit up.
I was just making sure I
But
ain't
I
get ignored
explained
this
it.
time. It's all good. I
You,
got you.
hey,
I got
is
you.
you was
It ain't
part of
no
the
biggie. It
first
ain't no
batch.
biggie.
Right, you was
Alright, here we
part of the
go.
first batch, brother. Don't ask your question yet, though.
Con.
Don't
Here
ask your
we go.
question. Don't ask your question yet,
I say con.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Let me see who else we got. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna bring 2 more brothers up. I'm just doing this at random, so the dog, I sent the dog. Let's see if the dog gets up here.
Shalom, Gadol, my nigga.
The dog's up here. So I'm gonna do one
This is
more.
more.
All right, I did one more. So these will be the last set. This will be the last set for this room. Again, we appreciate y'all coming up in here. So I'm gonna ask y'all who the question is for. You're just gonna answer who the question is for. Is
YAWASAP.
strong, who the question for? I'm gonna have to move you down, brother. You can raise your hand. I'm gonna give you one more shot. Who's the question for?
It's for Drake.
Appreciate it. Yehuda,
YAWASAP.
Chill D,
Drake.
Gadal,
Dre.
one.
Dre.
Valen don't get to ask no questions in here. All right, we're gonna go with that. Go ahead, Is you can go ahead and ask the question.
All right. Earlier, I think I heard Gadal say, YAWASAP, my bad. YAWASAP say, some about Genesis 6 was dealing with interracial dating or something like that. I was just gonna ask the brother, have we ever seen when interracial dating produced giants in the scriptures?
Obviously, you didn't listen to the debate. Come on, wax your ears, bro. The Giants wasn't literal Giants. Let's just, please, let's move on.
All right, it's my turn.
Con, it's your turn, Strong. Go ahead and ask your question.
All right, I just wanted to ask Dre, is there anywhere else in the scriptures outside of Genesis 6 where angels um have contact with humans on a physical level?
All right. Well, I just say this, bro. I think let me get the verse because I don't want to just paraphrase it. But I think let me go to Genesis where it says Jacob wrestled with an angel. Because when you said contact, I don't know what type of contact you're referencing, but I got you. Let me see. So to answer your question, yes. But here it is. Okay, let me see.
Hey, that's a
Okay,
nice
Genesis.
study, Dre.
Hey, that's what he said. He said contact, right? You know what I'm saying? Right,
Yo,
Javon? That's what he said. Genesis
yo,
He
Dre.
32 and
did.
25.
Listen,
Yes,
That's
sir.
a good
he
one.
did slither out of there.
That's
He
a
did
fact,
slither
Dre.
out.
That
Yeah.
was A1, Dre. I gotta give you that. That's A1.
Appreciate it. Genesis 32 and 25. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. So it says in the scripture that he wrestled with God, unless you believe it's God or angel. Either way, it's synonymous, it's interchangeable. It says he touched his thigh. To me, that's contact. So to answer your question, Strong, yes, sir.
I think it's on Yehuda Cap. Mute up, YAWASAP.
My
Mute up
bad.
the verses now. I think it's Yehuda, Chill D, then Gadal, and then
Right. And
so
then that's
Yehuda.
it. Right.
Yeah, Con.
Con.
I
So,
didn't catch whose question was who for it, so it's on Yehuda.
Con, it's on Yehuda. That's correct.
All right, Yawasap, you say that angels can't sin. My brother brought out Job chapter 4 and verse 18, talking about the angels being charged with folly. You chalked that up to the angels being men. However, if you read verse 17 and verse 19, it shows that the angels are actual angels. So I'm just going to read those verses and then ask you to give the understanding of how the angels can be charged
Yeah,
with folly.
just ask a question. Now. No need for all the extra. Ask the question, man. Follow rules.
All right, my bad. So I'm going to read the scripture. Job chapter 4, verse 17. Shall mortal man be more just than God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker? Behold, he put no trust in his servants, and his angels he charged with folly. How much less in them that dwell in houses of clay, whose foundation is in the dust, which are crushed before the moth. So it's basically comparing that the Most High doesn't trust man, who doesn't trust angels, so how much less will he trust man? So how can the Most High not trust angels? How comes the Most High charges angels with folly in verse 18 if angels don't sin? Yawsa.
No problem. I answered that already. Next person asking questions. Y'all gotta be smarter than this, man.
All right, Chill D. You next on the question
Hey
list.
Dre, shalom everybody. But hey Dre, so we know that the Most High is the giver of life, and so my question is: did the Most High give life to the children of the giants and the people, even though that's against the law to mix two different kinds?
Great question. I was wondering if somebody was going to bring that out. But my understanding is that the Most High gives, yes, ultimately He gives the life, but He's passed it down through us. So you know what I'm saying, in us having children, we pass that down. So we get it from the Most High, but it also comes through His children or comes through the children of His seed. So just like I have a child, the Most High has blessed me with life, the wind or the breath that you may want to call it, the ruach. So when I have a child, I pass it down to my child. So I don't think it's problematic or whatever the case may be, because essentially the Most High gives it to us to disperse, and you know how we do so.
It's on Brother Gadal.
Salaki, Song Gadal.
Con.
My question is for Dre, and because I heard you say that when these people names end with "eem," like Nephilim, Raphaim, that is always angelic beings. So my question is: are how you pronounce these people's name? The Netarims, those temple servants, are those angelic beings because it ends with Aim as well, and there's Ephraim angelic beings because his name ends with Aim as well.
I'm trying to see the verse you're talking about, but if I recall correctly, no, I don't believe those are. I said from the research that I had seen, I guess I did see in most cases where that did refer to the descendants or the prefix of the giants. But I honestly would have to see what you're talking about. But if you're referring to the Ephraimims or the Ephraimites, no, I wouldn't say in that case. But we have a clear description of who they descend from, so that's the only difference.
So, like, Gadal, did you have a verse? And then I'll move you down. If you just had a verse for your question.
Yeah, that's Ezra chapter 7, verse 24. I'll read it. You want me to read it?
If Dre don't mind, or he can read it either way.
No, man. Yeah, let's do it, you know.
Gadal, if you can read it, and then I'll move you down.
It says, and also we clearly you that touches any of the priests, the Levites, the singers, the porters, the Nethinims, or ministers of the house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toil, tribute, or custom upon them. And those Nethinims are temple servants; they're human beings.
The
Okay,
answer.
yeah. I'm pulling it
Dre,
now,
did
but
you have a
yeah.
response?
Yeah, I'm pulling it now. I see what the brother was referencing. But I mean, well, to me, that's my point. I can read and we can see where they descend from. So again, that I understand what he's saying, and the brother is right. But I didn't say always. But again, I agree with you here. But we can see where they descend from.
All right, last question of the night. One.
Shalom to the panel. Dre, real quick. Leviticus 16 and 10. That word scapegoat, when you go into the Brown Driver's Briggs, right? It says, actually, hold on. When you go into the Strongs, it's a Zazel. But when you go into the Brown Driver Briggs, it alludes to most proper name of a spirit haunting desert, right? And it says a fallen angel. So my question is, where else can we, read about this fallen angel, Azazel?
Oh, well, me personally, I've only seen it in the book of Enoch where it says he placed all the sins on this particular angel and that angel would be punished for it. So it would, like you say, it would actually make sense. Because right here in Leviticus 16 and 10, it says, but the goat on which the lot failed to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Lord to make an atonement with him and to let him go for a scapegoat into the wilderness. So I agree here that this is literally, you can read about this in the book of Enoch where it says all the sins will be put on Azazel, which was a particular angel that took part in the fall of man. So I think this actually definitely benefits to my understanding and the ancients like 100%.
Yo, Zaza was that dude in Fallen with Denzel Washington. Pretty good movie. Appreciate y'all joining the debate. For those that participated, YAWASAP and Dre, excellent decorum that y'all had. Corey, good job. You know, both of us keeping the time, moderating. Even for y'all staying for the Q&A, because I think, we took a little bit over the time. So I appreciate y'all joining on the Versus platform. If y'all have not joined the Versus platform, just click the house at the top. Follow the moderators on the stage. You can even follow the combatants, YAWASAP and Dre, as well. We appreciate y'all joining for this build on this subject. Corey, if you don't have anything else, I think we can go ahead and clip it.
No, I don't have anything. Make sure you follow Captain Tazaria. Wonderful job, him, and follow these teachers because they did exactly what we asked. They brought out scriptures. There was a lot of scriptures. There was fire being brought on both sides in round 3. So I appreciate both sides. The questions was together. We had a couple of technical difficulties in terms of clarity questions where they was trying to get an understanding. Everybody stayed mild, and we was able to have a really, really good debate. Moving forward, that's why we always question whether we will bring up people for questions, because those people have not been vetted. And sometimes people come up and throw off the swag and what the teachers are being able to establish. So the decorum was actually set beautifully, like always, on the Versus platform with the moderators, as well as with the teachers. But it started to go a little sideways at times with the people that came up with questions. So understand, this is not the typical room for, that we will host on like a God First Gang or House of Rum, something like that. It's not those typical
Or
rooms
hot.
or hot where
There
you
you go.
come up to the stage and scoff. This is not one of those spaces. Crown of Thorns is not where you come up and scoff. This is one of those spaces to where you respect the formal debate and you leave it at that. And if you come up to the stage with a question, it's only a question. It's not to show how smart you are, but it's to further the minds of the teachers and actually allow them to be able to answer. If you have a question, as people are hitting me in the back chat about any questions, there's a post debate room on the God First Game platform. So you can click my profile, go down to the bottom, and follow the God First Game platform. I believe there was a room that came available by one of the respective individuals that created the room. And then, so there's always post parties going on after these formal debates, which is a lot looser.
Hey, Salakia Corey, just post it on the top.
I got you.
Nah,
So,
ain't no posting on the top.
no, I'm not. Yeah. We ain't gonna post it. But with these post rooms and parties and stuff like that that's created, they're always energetic, entertaining. So you see a lot of rooms come open in the hallway where you can communicate about with certain individuals about who you felt like did this and did that. So we don't do that on the Versus platform, but we do that in the other rooms and so on and so forth, communicate about them. So I appreciate Drake, appreciate y'all. So make sure y'all following those brothers, follow myself, follow Cap. We're heading over into the God
Hey,
First Game.
may I just say one thing?
No, you're a teacher. You already concluded.
I was going to thank you, man. Dang.
No, don't thank me. Just mute up. But yeah, a beautiful job, YAWASAP. Dre already dropped off. But shalom to everybody. It was some good questions that did come from the stage, so we may continue to do it, but we may just try to check decorum or at least vet the individuals who's coming up, be kind of familiar with some of the individuals.
Yeah, I remember them names. I will.
What'd you say, Cap?
I said I'll remember them names for next time.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
As well as on the opposite side, right? Some of the people that we're already familiar with on both sides, maybe we can kind of bring them to the stage versus like bringing new individuals. And if they're new, maybe we can ask them to ask their question in the back channel so we know what their question is, so we'll know to bring them up or not. Because it was a couple of knuckleheads, but you always get those. Make sure y'all click on the link before we close that room. On Etsy, Tazariak Creations. Tazariak, you want to plug that right quick before we close out?
Yeah, right now I got a 20% sale. Wait, am I muted? Oh, I got a 20% sale on all my products. I always steer people to my Etsy page. In 2.5 years, I got almost 18,000 in sales, over 1,600 reviews. You don't have to believe me. You can just believe the reviews. From oils, candles, body wash, body butters, incense, soaps, whatever you need to get you a man or get you a woman, I got you covered. Have babies. I think I increased the baby rate in all Israel. Salakia.
Hey, beautiful verses, Bill. Though, like myself up in the back chat. Cap may not want a million messages, but I know I love to see them. Let me know.
I love the messages.
Okay,
like
good deal. Yeah, light Cap up too. Be critical. Always push us to get better on these platforms because we actually do it. To further the edification of biblical study. So make sure y'all light us up in the back chat, telling being critical. But we finna jump in these post rooms, man. Shalom, everybody have a good night. Cap, you got something?
No, I'm good. You can close it.